Petro-Canada Caremakers Foundation helps family caregivers get the care they need.
Every NFL Sunday, hear the biggest plays on SiriusXM NFL Radio's Sunday Drive.
Houston has the ball with less than a minute to go, trying to get a game-time score.
Follow the entire league without changing the channel. Plus, fantasy updates and post-game interviews.
Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown.
We just got together and just start chipping away.
The Sunday Drive brings you closer to the NFL. Sundays, noon to 8 Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Just the nature of the NHL. As bad as things seem, as good as things seem, the NHL just has a way of leveling out. Everyone is doing okay, and it's just one real clump in the middle. No one's really separating. No one's really falling off completely.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on SiriusXM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. We are getting you set for Leafs on the road to face the Montreal Canadiens on Hockey Night in Canada. Our 1-hour pregame show has wrapped up. Puck drop in about 10-ish minutes. So we will get you ready, get you fired up for what is supposed to be a big-time game tonight.
Yeah, it's a big game. Both markets, in terms of talk radio, pretty spicy this week. The Montreal Canadiens have not been playing well lately. They went from the very top of the Atlantic Division to toiling at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings at current moment, not playing well. And, of course, the Leafs, as you know, have not had a positive start to their season. However, they can run their success against the Montreal Canadiens to 2 games with a victory tonight. This is the second meeting of the season. The Leafs won 5-2 on opening night at home. It was a pretty good game and effort from the Montreal Canadiens, but a win for the Leafs nonetheless. It's just they'll have to do that on the road, and it's been tough on the road so far this year. It's been light in terms of the schedule, but not very successful in terms of wins and losses. 1-5 on the road to start the season here for the Maple Leafs. They've got to improve on that this season, and it could start tonight.
Yes, as you mentioned, Leafs have not played a lot of road games, but they're about to start a 6-game road trip tonight against a lot of winnable teams, and the Atlantic standings are very constricted. So if you win a couple in a row, you may be at the top of the standings by the time you return home on December 6th to host Montreal Canadiens. So a lot on the line tonight. Both teams dealing with injuries, as you mentioned. We'll get to our lineups in a moment. But let's just start with this. Your key to victory. And that's brought to you by Rona. Rona knows the game we love is hard on the home, so make sure your home is ready to take on hockey season.
Rise to the occasion. Craig Berube said it a million times in the pregame. It's a big game, and there is some stakes. There's not necessarily something you can grab and achieve, and it's tangible, and you can hold on to it tonight in terms of, a reward. But what's more valuable? Avoiding the scorn of dropping even further in the Eastern Conference. The Maple Leafs in a big market, an important arena, a loud arena, a frenzied atmosphere, rise to the occasion tonight and come out of this without the embarrassment of dropping further in the standings.
And the Leafs have risen to the occasion against the Habs in their last 10 meetings, 9-1-0. So definitely a game that means a lot to both sides. A lot of comments before tonight's action that they love playing on the road here in Montreal, and they love beating up on the Habs. So I think both teams coming in extremely motivated.
It's a bit of a mirror match. These teams, despite different starts, have wound up in the same place, 13th and 15th in the conference. Goals per game, they're 4th and 5th, respectively. The Leafs slightly better. Goals allowed, they're both 29th and 30th, like very bottom of the league. The PKs have been leaving something to be desired. The only difference really is how they score their goals. The Habs can do it with a good power play. The Leafs are elite at 5-on-5, and they both have goaltending issues. However, those issues are sort of on the back burner, at least tonight. Samuel Montembeault will not start for the Montreal Canadiens. He's been terrible all season long. And Anthony Stolarz, despite not being like actively a problem, although it's been a bit of a step back statistically for him as well, he's just not available. So it would be Joseph Woll versus Jakub Dobiš. Both goaltenders have been good, but both goaltenders haven't had a whole lot of success because, well, their team isn't playing all that well in front of them.
Yeah, since Joseph Woll's taken over for the Leafs, 3 games, he's allowed 3, 2, and 3 goals against, 2 overtime games, but that's a .927 save percentage and a .257 goals against. But I'm interested in tonight specifically for Joseph Woll because specifically against the Habs, he's 3-0-0. And he has a 1.67 goals against average and a .942 save percentage. He can become the first goalie in Leafs history to win each of his first 4 career games against the Habs. So he's got something special on the line tonight.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
Habs dominance.
A little bit of history. Maybe not tangible, but more than just
it's cool.
Save the embarrassment of dropping it in the standings. I'll give you the Leafs lines because you gave us the starter with some starter context. Joseph Woll tonight for the Maple Leafs. The top line will be William Nylander, John Tavares, and Calle Jarnkrok based on line rushes and warm-up. We could see Easton Cowan move up, maybe sooner than later, because that's what happened last time out. Dakota Joshua will play with Max Domi and Nick Robertson, again, based on lineups in warm-up on the second line, so a bit of a promotion there for Joshua. Third line will be McMahon, Lawton, and Cowan, an interesting line there. And Sammy Blais gets into the game tonight with Steven Lorentz and Matthias Maccelli being the fourth line. Jacob Quillen scratched tonight despite a pretty solid effort last time out against the Columbus Blue Jackets. On the blue line, it'd be Morgan Rielly and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who's playing the role of stabilizing Morgan Rielly now. Simone Benoit and Jake McCabe, and Dakota Mermis and your guy, Troy Stetcher. Again, Joseph Woll getting the start with Dennis Hill to be backing up.
I will claim a little stake in watching Troy Stetcher do well. He's had a great start with the Leafs so far.
Claim your stake.
All right. I'd like to give you some players.
You want your player to watch?
I would like it.
Well, it's presented by Bet365. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Okay, I got 2 fun ones for you tonight. I also feel like it'll be a high-scoring affair. So I'm just mentioning that now. Sammy Blais, 8-1, plus 800 for a goal tonight. He only has 1 goal and 2 assists in 7 games of the Leafs this season, but he's a Quebec native. He's going to have 10 to 15 family in attendance tonight, and it was a nice move by Craig Berube to put him back in the lineup tonight. As you mentioned, Quillen is out. He was once a Hab, was waived, and he's very motivated. Quote, a little more of a chip on my shoulder tonight for sure. It's going to be an exciting one. So you know what? A little revenge angle for Sammy Blais. And on the other side, like the ultimate tier of Leaf killers, I would put Josh Anderson on that. He's plus 525 for an anytime goal tonight. He has 14 goals against the Leafs in his career, by far the most he has against any team in his entire career. He just always scores against the Leafs. So Josh Anderson, anytime goal, plus 525. He only has 3 goals on the season and 6 points. Don't let that deter you. He always scores against the Leafs.
He does.
It's
He
like
really does.
clockwork for that kid.
It really is clockwork, unfortunately. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, hometown guy, as we saw with Adam Fantilli,
There's something special about that.
Yeah, likes to beat up on the Leafs. Okay, the expected Montreal Canadiens lines. They're dealing with a lot of injuries right now, but 4 to 5 guys that are considered important regulars dealing with long-term injuries, but they have and present a fairly good lineup regardless. Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Zach Bolduc will be the top line. 2 former top 5 picks, Ivan Demidov and Juraj Slafkovsky, will flank Oliver Kapanen on the second line. Florian Xhekaj, Arber's brother,
NHL debut,
will play on the third line with Jake Evans and Josh Anderson, the aforementioned Josh Anderson. It'll be Jared Davidson, Joe Veleno, and Brendan Gallagher on the fourth line. The top pair, Mike Matheson and Noah Dobson, remains for the Montreal Canadiens. Jaden Struble will play with Lane Hudson tonight, and it'll be the other, Xhekaj, Arber, with Alexander Carrier on the third pairing for Montreal, with, again, Jakub Dobish getting the start.
All right, a couple more minutes. I feel like we talked a little bit about the road trip. I'm actually excited for the Leafs to get on the road because I think that they need a little bit of team bonding. 6 road games this entire year, which is the lowest in the NHL and their lowest in franchise history. And so I think that things can be gleaned and gained from being on the road and packing up and just worrying about hockey and hockey only. And they're about to head around mostly the East Coast and play some winnable games. So let's start this on a high note. That would be my key to victory. Start it off on a high note. You're out of the city. You're playing in a barn that you love being in and you've had great success in. There's like a lot of connections. Like Domi was a have. Like, love to see Domi have a little revenge angle tonight and you know, play with a little oomph. But I feel like starting a road trip, you want to start it on the right foot, especially one that's so long and especially one that can mean a lot for your standings. The Atlantic, so crushed can standings. Like a win tonight, they could be right back into a playoff spot. It's crazy.
It is certainly a manageable road trip in terms of what's asked for them. Saturday night here in Montreal, couple days off. Columbus, Wednesday night. Friday and Saturday, it's a back-to-back. Washington and Pittsburgh. That's difficult.
And those are great, fun games, though.
It is, and I'm sure we'll see listen, Capitals and Penguins not lighting the world on fire. This is not 2016. But yeah, we'll probably see Dennis Hill to be there. But again, like Joseph Woll can manage most of this so far. Then you're in Florida Tuesday night, deal with the Panthers, and you wrap it up, as you mentioned, Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday, December 4th. So some space between these 6 games and a lot of opportunity for Joseph Woll to not get run into the ground, but instead have a really positive impact at a key portion of the schedule for Toronto.
Yeah, he's been a bright spot since coming back. You know, I think he was obviously dealing with it a lot that kept him away from the team, but the ability to come back in and actually play good hockey, meaningful hockey, immediately thrust into a situation where the team was not vibing, they were losing. Stolarz is injured, and you got to get back in the pipes and like kind of carry this team. I think it's been a very welcome sight to see how he's shouldered that load so far, but he's still got to shoulder this for the next 6 games. Like, it doesn't stop now.
It's not this because they haven't been able to win these games. Just one of the Woll starts so far in overtime. But it could be season saving because about a month ago, is Joseph Woll ever coming back? We didn't know, right? And he comes back exactly as Anthony Stolarz bows out with injury. And if he can just take the torch here, take the baton, and carry it as long as he needs to till you can get back to the portion where it's like, yeah, we have the preferred tandem, then maybe he keeps the Maple Leafs alive here this season.
All right, a lot going into tonight's game. That was our pregame show. We're excited for Puck Drop with Joe Bone and Jim Ralph next. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Your home for the biggest stories in the league is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This is Solomon Wilcox from the opening drive. As you get ready for Thanksgiving, we're helping you to set the table for a full course of great matchups in Week 12. Starting with the Colts at the Chiefs.
Sacked! Eaten alive! Chris Jones!
And the Buccaneers at the Rams on Sunday Night Football.
Touchdown, Puka Nacua!
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Under review.
and stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under Review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. We deliver the NHL.
Jeff Gorton, the president of hockey operations for the Montreal Canadiens.
Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. How much do their games complement each other?
They're sort of reading each other's minds of where to be. And Nick is so bright. His hockey sense is so good. I think that Cole is feeding off it. It's been fun to watch. And like I said, they're pretty young. They're still getting better, but they're driving our bus every day. And
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Connor McDavid, fourth fastest player to ever score 1,100 points. I want to say he's the third best offensive player of all time. That's Mario and him. Mind-blowing production of the highest order for Connor McDavid. It just made my head spin that he was able to be that consistent that long.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game, and when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken, don't suck. That has never changed. In fact, this show has never changed. We're just back home, and it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Work.
They start a 6-game road trip. It is the longest of their year. The other 6-gamer will be broken up by the Olympic break. But they started off in Montreal, and the Knights of the Knotted Nets are brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. Joseph Woll has never lost to the Montreal Canadiens. A win tonight, he would be the very first goaltender in Leaf history to win his first 4 meetings against the arch rivals. He's 1-1-1 this year with a 2.57 goals against average, 3-0-0 lifetime against the Habs. Jacob Dobish gets the call for the Canadiens. Sam Montembeault has struggled. Dobish is 6-2-2, 2.96 goals against average, 8.92 save percentage.
I mentioned Dobish 6-2-2, but started the season 6-0-0. So he's gone 4 straight without a win. He's coming in relief. Actually got one of his losses in relief against the Washington Capitals. Montembeault pulled after 3. He came in and gave up 4.
Puck is dropped. We're underway, and glad you're along with us. The Leafs to the left and the Canadiens to the right on your radio dial. As it's played down into the Montreal zone and then launched high to center ice on a bounce. It'll go to Benoit, who'll get it to the line and out. Canadiens have to wait for teammates to get onside and play it back into their own zone. Around back of the net, Matheson gets it up on the wing, and the Canadiens get to center but can't get into the Leaf zone cleanly. And Toronto will go back into its own territory, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets it ahead. Cowan being chased by Caulfield, but gets it onto the right wing side, and Bobby McMahon gets it into the offensive end. Cut off on the near boards and brought back, and a long shot taken by OEL, which was blocked. Backhanded by Lawton back into the corner, and the Canadiens will group it up and get it out on the far side to the line, but turned back again by Toronto. And then Cowan lost a handle on the disc, and it is cleared in by Demidov into the Toronto zone, but the Leafs get it right back out at center. A big hit on the far side, bowled over one of the Canadiens. And we can't see if anything. Oh, now we do see if something was going on. Demidov getting a little push and shove as he headed to the bench. The Canadiens have brought up Florian Jacki, the younger brother of Arbor Jacki. And both are in the league for really one reason and one reason only, and that's their physicality. Played down into the Montreal zone. Up on the right wing side, too far for Evans, but it rolls down into the Leaf zone. Hustling back to get to it, Troy Stecher. Stecher was given a jolt there by Florian Jacki, who's on for his first shift in the National Hockey League. 6'4" and 204 pounds. And a hit by Anderson draws the crowd into it a little bit. Centering pass by Veleno didn't make it. Canadians get it back to the point. D to D, it goes to the right wing side, and a long shot goes well wide of the goal. Centering pass back to the blue line again. Jacki, a long, easy shot that is handled by Wall. And he will bring a face-off in the Toronto zone as a result. Jacki played his junior hockey with the Bulldogs organization, first in Hamilton and then with Brantford, the same as his brother did. And with Laval this year, 16 games, he's already got 44 minutes in penalties.
And from our research,
we
can
did
say
research?
That I Googled something.
Oh, okay. I don't want you to get overblown with this.
A fifth brother combination to suit up at the same time for the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, all right.
The Richards,
Richard, Pocket Rocket, and the Rocket. Yep.
Lemieux, Claude, and Jocelyn.
Yes.
And Sprague and Odie Leghorn. That Odie was a character.
Really? Leafs in over the line with a shot. Knocked away there by Dobish. In what way, Ralphie, was he a character? I mean, funny, just good in the dressing room. Good. Jack of all trades.
Good on the train.
He was an engineer?
Yes.
Played to center and down into the Leaf end. Well, you do some great research. I know you really do. Into the near corner in the Montreal zone. Struble waiting for teammates to change. And crowd getting into it. It was always one of our favorite spots to visit, wasn't it? The atmosphere on a Saturday night in Montreal is unparalleled. So many Toronto fans make their way down. They always have a great time on St. Catherine Street. And what was the other street that had all the bars?
Crescent.
Crescent Street, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, you read about it. You did research. Here's Nylander getting it back into his own zone, fanning on the pass. Now it does come out into the center ice area. The puck down at the Montreal blue line and fed in on the left wing side for Suzuki. Dropping it back for Matheson. He walks into the slot. His pass went off a skate, but it is gobbled up now by Demidov. Demidov working it back into the slot and fanning on the shot. Partially blocked there was Suzuki. Leafs bring it back the other way. Cowan gets into the zone and stops up, gets into the slot, drops it off, and a shot taken there by Jake McCabe was fought off by Dobish. Canadians around back of the net. Matheson getting it out to the Toronto zone. McCabe going back into the Toronto end and around back of the net. He gets a pass and it'll be brought out by Robertson to Domi. Domi getting it ahead on the wing again for Robertson, dropping it off on the left wing side. A shot doesn't make it through. Wrap around attempt. Just held out on the post there, and now we got the other Jacki trying to be. Well, there's another term with Jack in it, but we'll leave that alone, and we'll move on with a face-off coming in the Montreal zone.
Yeah, you knew he was going to come.
Yeah, well, you know, you have nicknames.
It's his own rebound, and then keeps going behind the net, and very nearly beats Dobish to the post. Boy, this almost gets under the pad too, Joey.
Yes, it does, and he did well to get over there and get that pad down on it, didn't he? Leafs with the first three shots of the game. Didn't Wall catch one? Yeah, didn't Wall catch one shot? Didn't he?
Yeah,
I thought he handled one.
Kind of a bit of a wobbler from the blue line.
Yeah. Anyway, point shot taken by Stretcher was blocked. Canadians get the center and get it out, but Domi is able to poke it back to the Montreal blue line. Jack Eye over on the right side and a head off a stick. Leafs turn it right back up ice. Grabbed off by the defense. Played off now for Troy Stretcher, who gets it back to his defense partner, and it is pushed ahead on the left wing and then sent into the zone. Domi will go into forecheck here and get a hit in on Jack Eye. The puck comes back up on the wing and is cleared to center ice. Leafs come into the game in their last 5, 1, 2, and 2. And Jack Eye with another hit. It's got the crowd going again. Puck into the corner. And it's around back of the net. Gallagher getting it along the boards, and now back of the net for Jack Eye, who turns the puck over. Centering effort there just didn't connect, and now it does. And a long shot by Blais is going to go off a stick and into the screen and out of play.
Sammy Blais in the lineup for Jacob Quillen, the only change for the Leafs since their last game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Montreal coming in. It has been a tough stretch. 9-3 start for the Canadiens, but they've lost 5 straight, 0-4-1 in that stretch. They did have a shootout loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets, but just 1 win in their last 8. 1-4-2. I guess that's 7, isn't it?
Boy, if we're doing single digits and you can't handle it.
Figured if I just said it fast enough, nobody'd catch it.
Good idea.
Well, I admit it to him first.
Somewhere your grade 2 teacher is saying, I taught him that better, didn't I?
Those 4 years?
Yes. Yes, that's right. Face-off coming in the Montreal zone. 14:27 to go here in period number 1. No score in the hockey game. And the face-off won by Toronto. Tavares on the left wing, and a wrister from the top of the circle is swallowed up by Dobish off the stick of Simon Benoit.
You a little bit surprised that Easton Cowan doesn't start with Nylander and Tavares? We saw that
the way they
switch.
Played the other night. Yeah, I do. I mean, that's something that I'm sure
maybe that's
Craig Berube has got in his hip pocket that he can change, right?
If you're down.
Yep. Canadians get it down into the Toronto zone. McCabe plays it around the wall. Cut off there. Benoit up against the boards with Caulfield. Caulfield loses the puck, and McCabe will play it up on the wing. And now here is Nylander. Stick handling out of trouble and getting it to center, and it is shot down into the Montreal zone. Goaltender rips it around the boards. It'll be trapped by Nylander and played back in along the wall. Tavares couldn't find a man open. The Canadians are able to come away with it. And they'll get it to the line, but another turnover. Toronto keeping it in. Tavares on his backhand. Curls at the blue line. Back it comes to him from OEL. Wrist shot in on goal. A weak one handled easily by Dobish. Leafs get the puck again to Nylander, though. Nylander's wrist shot. That deflected wide of the net. Played by Zachary Bolduc. Out and down the ice, but no icing, and the Leafs have to go back for it. 13:22 left to play here in period number 1. Glad you're along with us. Leafs in Montreal. Played around back of the net to the far side for Scotty Lawton. Lawton back of the net for Cowan. Tried to center it. It was blocked. And it is backhanded now by Lane Hudson out at center ice. Played up on the right side. And a long wrist shot is handled easily there off the stick of Veleno by Joseph Wall. And we're getting a little more pushing and shoving going on. Nothing more to develop and nothing more to report on. It is a 0-0 tie. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Dig into something good this Thanksgiving on the SiriusXM app. From dinner party music mixes to a feast of live football, food podcasts, and more fall fixings. We're serving up the soundtrack for every moment this holiday weekend. Just search Thanksgiving in the SiriusXM app.
The
Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph. We've got Armin Zagarian pretending he's running the operation, and Andrew Holland doing all of the spade work to keep us on the air as the Leafs and the Canadiens are scoreless here in the first period. That is brought to you by Bet365. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Face-off won by the Canadiens. It comes back to the point. Walking the line with a wrist shot was Hudson, but it was blocked. Down into the corner for Demidov. He can't get it in front, and Cowan has skating room to his liking as he starts out of his own zone. Cowan to center. The Cowboy launches it down in around back of the net. Hustled in there after it, but Hudson got it up on the wing, and then it's poked ahead for Demidov with one man back. Getting back, though, was Lawton. Good play to take the spot of the defense who had pinched. Back to the point. Canadians keeping it in, though. Here's Hudson walking the line. Off on the left wing side for Slavkovsky, and the shot has deflected up into the screen. And who got upended there? Slavkovsky by Lawton. And that's drawn the ire of whoever happened to be on the ice at the time, but nothing more develops.
So Gary Slavkovsky's trying to establish himself as a physical presence, as he was dumped right after the whistle by Scott Lawton. And he was the one that was pushing and shoving Bobby McMahon after the big hit in the first couple minutes of this game.
Lawton and Lorenz were a force the other night and looked a lot like they had been during the preseason, didn't they?
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know if that's going to translate, especially with the time that Lawton has missed this season.
Yep.
And then Steven Lorenz has missed time as well.
Valeno lost the faceoff for Montreal. Slipped into the Canadian zone by Dakota Joshua. Now the Canadians get it up on the left wing and out at center. It is played in over the line. A Gallagher shot is blocked into the corner by Wall. That apparently is the first shot on goal or second shot on goal for Montreal. Played off the boards to center. Domi trying to bat it away there from Davidson, but the Canadians bring it right back in with Gallagher getting a wrister away, but Wall right out the top of the crease swallows that up and stops play with a face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Gallagher having a bit of a discussion, and OEL now having a discussion with the officials, who are Justin Kia and Chris Lee, Libor Suchanek, and Ryan Daisy are the linesmen.
Ekman-Larsson slow to get up, and I think it might have been Brendan Gallagher was the one that felled him a little bit earlier.
No, but I think it was that not Carriere, I think, that slew-footed him, kind of.
Is that what it was earlier? Yeah. Then they mean up. Gallagher scored his first goal of the season the last game out for Montreal in their loss to Washington.
Leafs in their own zone, breaking it out with Benoit. Bank pass ahead, chipped in over the line by Yarncrook. Tavares takes his man down, but Nylander couldn't get the puck around the pileup back of the net. Now it's back into the slot area, pushed to the blue line. A long shot got through off the stick of McCabe, but it was deflected by Dobish into the corner. Canadians banking it off the boards and out at center ice. Leafs are going to get to it and chip it along for Nylander. He'll play it the rest of the way down into the zone. And then Nylander got in a bit of a tussle at the side, right at the bench, as a long shot is blocked by the Leaf defense. Played to the line and into the Montreal zone. Cowan couldn't come up with it. Canadians have iced it. It'll come back into the Toronto or into the Montreal end.
Well, Easton Cowan's ice time, the season high, so obviously career high, 20 minutes and 6 seconds in the game against Columbus on Thursday night. Boy, Nylander landed a pretty good right.
Well, it was a late hit by Bolduc that kind of precipitated it, didn't it? But it was a good right, nonetheless.
And a pretty good dive after the punch by Nylander as well.
Draw one by Toronto. At the point, kept in by Riley. Far side. Blade trying to get it in front of the net. Down into the corner it goes for Michelli. He can't come up with it. The Canadians get it out at center. And it'll be flipped down into the Toronto zone as Anderson went after it, but it comes up on the near wing. Hit there along the boards by Jake Evans. Puck goes to the far corner in the Toronto zone. Riley getting it out at center ice, and now a push up on the left wing with one man back, trying to get in on the backhand, and the wrist shot. Kind of a weak one that got away. Well, we've got some more pushing and shoving, and
now Easton Cowan
I think it was that Lorenz who had the chance?
I think somebody might be going to the box here. Oliver Ekman-Larsson came in late. Pretty good move by Steven Lorenz to dance around one Montreal player and then tried to throw it to the front of the net in the backhand on a spin. Boy, Oliver Ekman-Larsson took about 4 shots in front of the Montreal net right after that whistle.
And then tough guy Jack Guy decides that Cowan is the guy he needs to talk to.
I think Montreal might be getting a penalty on this.
Sounds like it. Well, that's unfortunate.
Toronto number 95, minor penalty for roughing. Montreal number 47, double minor for roughing.
So the Canadians.
Struble is going to go with the double minor. So Ekman-Larsson does pick up on. He's still on the Leaf bench. He's going to have to relocate his seating. And the Canadians are going to have to put somebody in the box to serve the first 2 minutes or the other extra 2 minutes of this penalty. But I tell you, Struble got his money's worth on this.
Yeah,
a couple of other shots taken as well. Josh Anderson, a cross check to the back. This is kind of typical, though, when teams are struggling, isn't it? Where you say, let's go out, let's be physical, let's be tough.
Yeah.
And that's all in great, but if the Leafs
you run into it.
Yeah.
And then if the opponent will utilize the mistakes by scoring with the man advantage.
It goes for naught.
Exactly.
And it just adds to frustration.
So Morgan Riley will be on the first power play unit.
Brendan Gallagher's going to serve the other penalty. Now the discussion now, I think, is why is the face-off outside the blue line? And I'm sure they're going to say that, you know, when Ekman-Larsson was the defenseman that was in, he didn't come in from the blue line.
No.
I think that would be the argument from Craig Berube, that he'd simply joined the rush, but I don't think he's going to win the argument.
Well, he didn't. Face-off outside the blue line. Hence the argument. Draw scrummed. The puck grabbed off by Montreal. And they're going to send it back into their own zone and try to kill off some time. And now they'll get it up on the wing. And Evans will send it into the Toronto zone, and the Leafs come away with it. Morgan Riley at his own blue line, dropping it back for Nylander. Nylander with speed through the neutral zone and in on the left wing. Tavares into the corner. Tavares ran into a traffic jam, able to free it up, got it back to the point. Riley, left wing side, Nylander. Nylander looking in front of the net, top of the circle, down into the left wing corner, got it back again, top of the circle, left wing side, down into Tavares, closing in on the net with a backhand, and it hit the goal post. Leafs keep the puck in. Nylander holding down low into the corner again. Tavares to Riley, and a shot that goes off his stick and up into the screen, and the Leafs come very close.
John Tavares just walked out from the corner to the right of Dobish. And I thought this had beat him glove side, but I think it ends up off the post, off the crossbar, off the pad, and out.
Boy, they just let him come right to the net, didn't they? Yeah, that was going to go into the net, but it hit the back of his pad.
We're going to see. We're going to keep the number one unit out with 1:05 to go in the power play.
And the Leafs win the draw. Riley with a wrist shot towards the net, deflects into the corner. Tavares lost it, and the Canadiens are going to ice it, and I would imagine change is coming. Riley turns back in his own zone. Drops it for Easton Cowan. Cowan comes to center. Left wing feed. Tavares got it across the line, but it was off his stick, and down the ice it goes again. Wall had ideas of making a quick up, but the Leafs are in the midst of a change, and Riley comes out of his own zone slowly and plays it back now, and is brought on by Michelli. Michelli to the line on the left wing. Near boards now for Domi. Back to the blue line. It goes to McCabe. McCabe back for Michelli. Michelli lost the disc. Canadians get it down into the Toronto zone. Can't get a shot at the net, though, as Dobson plays it around back of the net. McCabe to Michelli. He's having difficulties, but then the Canadians give the puck away, and Benoit, coming off the bench, backhands it down into the Montreal zone. Chopped along the boards by Alexandre Carrière. Kept in by Toronto, and a shot went wide of the net. Bobby McMahon, back of the goal, had the puck in his skates but couldn't make a play. Canadians getting it out now as the penalty is over, but now brought back in the Leafs with a wrist shot by McMahon that was blocked. McCabe can't make a play, and the Canadians get it out at center ice. Caulfield cross the line, stick handling into the corner for Suzuki. Back in front of the net, they score! Lane Hudson jumping into the rush. And the prize defenseman opens the scoring for Montreal on their fourth shot on goal.
Joe, that's where Jake McCabe's got to get the puck deep. He has the puck inside the Montreal line and tries to make a little move with it. And it's picked off, and back come the Canadians. Scott Lawton back playing defense. McCabe eventually does get back, but the breakdown is already in full force. And you get 5 Leafs all sucked in to one side of the ice watching the puck.
Joseph Woll couldn't get across because one of the Canadians
Brendan
was
Gallagher
in the crease.
Are they going to
Was
challenge
he
this?
hit into the crease by Stetcher? Is going to be the question mark that Craig Berube is asking Jordan Dean, and apparently no, it was that situation that befell the goaltender.
Boy, that's what the Leafs were doing early in the season, turning the puck over and then giving up chances off the rush, and Lane Hudson makes the Leafs pay on that one.
12-11, the time of the goal. Puck around the boards to the far side. Joshua in the Toronto zone is swept around the boards, and it's going to come out at center ice. Jack-Eye back in his own zone. Played up on the right side. Launched high into the corner. Lawton got it up on the wing, but not out. Then he has it handed to him, and Lawton will get it up on the right wing side, and Stetcher now turns into neutral zone. Troy Stetcher sending it back and then heading to the bench. Nylander sliding through neutral ice, plays it in on the right side for Tavares. Tavares lost an edge, but was able to get the puck back to the blue line. Long shot taken there by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, was steered aside by Dobish. Canadians get it out. Matheson to center. In on the left wing. Trying to go wide on Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who took him to the boards efficiently. Plays it around the wall to the far side. Riley couldn't get to it. Now the Canadians have it again in the offensive zone. Pass into the slot. Matheson with it once more on his backhand, but can't shoot it. Now drops it back, and they score. Noah Dobson with the drive.
And again, the Leafs looking lost in their own zone with coverage, and Dobson lets this rip from the top of the right wing circle. And with 6:27 to go in the opening period on their 5th shot on goal, Montreal has a 2-goal lead. But that all starts, Joe. There was a simple D-to-D pass between Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Morgan Riley. And I don't know whether Riley thought somebody else was behind the net to get it, but he just kind of pulled up and let it go, and the Canadiens maintain control and eventually get another one through top of the right wing circle with not a lot of coverage in front of Wall.
Don't think Wall even saw this until he heard it in the back of the net. Leafs down 2-0 here in the period. And the Canadiens trying to break it out at center ice, and they do. Davidson into the slot area now for Suzuki. Suzuki down into the corner. Couldn't come up with it. And the Leafs are going to punch it off the boards, but not out. Hudson keeping it in at the left point. Hudson working in with a shot that went off a skate. Leafs are able to push it ahead. And now Nylander, or at least Robertson, gets it over on the left wing side. And it'll be Benoit just playing it in, and the Leafs getting a change. Dobson from Matheson and Demidov after Hudson from Suzuki and Caulfield. And the Canadiens score quickly, about a minute and 20 seconds apart, to build this 2-0 lead. Dobson with his 2nd goal of the season. Hudson with his 3rd.
Yeah, and this is all after the turnover. So you had the McCabe turnover on the first goal right at the Montreal line, and then you had the miscommunication between Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Morgan Riley in the second one. And that is something the Leafs have been able to stay away from the last 4 or 5 games, but it comes back to bite him here.
Leafs trying to keep the puck in at the blue line, but they have tripped up Gallagher trying to come out to the point, and Yarncrook is going to take a penalty, and the Leafs are in danger of having bad go to worse.
Since Nylander was, but Nylander's going to go. He was just throwing his,
it was Nylander.
Nylander and Yarncroc were both there. But the Canadiens can really take control of this game, although there was a game last year where Montreal had a 3-0 lead in the first period. Arbor Jackeye pointing to the scoreboard, and the Leafs roared back with 7 straight.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 is paying out before the final buzzer.
Check out Bet365's early payout for NHL hockey. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 3-goal lead, you get paid no matter the final score. And with early payout, you could be on your way to a winning parlay.
Early payout, just another reason why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
An official partner of the NHL, must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. Terms and conditions apply.
Hockey. It's taken over our basements, our driveways, and our backyards. And at Rona, we wouldn't change a thing. That's why we make sure your home can take any hits hockey throws its way. So hockey can keep taking over your laundry rooms, your living rooms, your garages, your kitchens. Make sure your home is ready for hockey season with Rona. Build it right, build it Rona.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never give up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL Shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Canadiens 2, the Maple Leafs no score here in the first period with 5.5 minutes to go. And the Canadiens onto their first power play of the game. Leafs win the draw, and it is quickly sent out and down the ice. Dobish plays in around the boards. Canadiens reorganizing. Demidov comes to the line, then drops it back. Now they'll gain the zone. Demidov takes a pass on the right wing side. Evans into the corner, back to the point. Off onto the left wing side for Caulfield. He mishandles it. Leafs trying to out-muscle it and clear it to the line and out and down the ice. It was just out of the reach of Hudson. Hudson dropping it back. Demidov comes to center. Left it up on the left wing. Suzuki's pass for Caulfield. Just kept in at the blue line by Hudson. Fed over on the right wing side. Leafs trying to get into that box and try to block a couple of cross-ice passes, but it comes to Suzuki and a shot just deflected wide as Wall was out of the net. Puck into the near corner for McCabe. Backhand attempt doesn't clear. Kept in at the point by Hudson. He gets it back into the slot near side Suzuki. Suzuki with it again down low. Caulfield gives it back to him. Back to the point to Hudson once more. Now to Suzuki again on the near half boards. Pass across off his stick, but it'll go to the far side. Demidov twisting and turning with it at the far half boards. Tried to center. It was partially blocked. And then the Canadiens make a bad pass and send it all the way down the ice. Both teams are changing. And despite a quick up made by goaltender Dobish, the Montreal Canadiens have to go back to center ice to regroup. They'll get it in on the left wing for Suzuki. Suzuki, a flip pass in front of the goal, and it was wired by Kapanen over top of the net. Kept in at the blue line, though, by Montreal. Dobson gets it down into the corner. Around back of the net is Gallagher. Broken up by the Leafs, played to the line, and it just does escape as Noah Dobson failed to keep it in, and the penalty is over. Dobson back into the Leaf zone with a shot. That blocked and took a chunk out of Mermis, who is holding his face as the puck came up and caught him in the neck. And now play is stopped as goaltender Wall gets a hold of the puck.
The Leafs find themselves down a couple again, much like the game against Columbus on Thursday night. It is the 14th time in 22 games that the Leafs have given up the first goal. But they had that one stretch, I think 7 straight.
So a break in the action with Montreal up 2-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You're in this to win a championship. Championships are won later in the season.
The push for the fantasy football playoffs is on.
But you can't win the league if you don't make the playoffs. You could sneak in and be the last seed and win the darn league. You just got to get hot at the right time.
The experts of Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio are here to lead you to fantasy football glory.
There are certain times in the season where you got to make a splash. You got to make a move.
Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app, where fantasy football championships are won.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Dakota Mermis has headed to the Leaf dressing room.
A shot in the throat?
Yeah, it came up off his stick. The puck came up and caught him. World traveler Simon Dingley can't get the game on TV. He's on Jeju Island in South Korea. I guess he should have paid more for the cable. Anyway, he's listening. Yes, he's listening. Of course he is.
We're big there.
Oh, well, Jeju Island? I guess we are. Here, the Leafs breaking out at center ice and shooting it in. Down into the corner and played around back of the net in the Montreal zone. Dobson plays it out at center, and the Leafs have it there. Down 2-0. 2:37 to play, first period. And McCabe stretching things out as the Leafs get a change of players going. The Domi line coming over the boards. McCabe starts back up ice. Got it in on the left wing with some room, trying to drive there and go around the defense was Joshua. Comes back to the point. McCabe with a shot. That deflected just wide. And Gallagher will get it out at center ice after taking a hit. Canadians in on the left wing. Davidson ridden off the puck efficiently there by McCabe. Puck along the boards with Robertson trying to dig it away, but it goes around to the far side. Canadians keep it in. Hudson getting it into the corner, and McCabe stepped into him. Back up behind the net, Veleno. Back to the point, long shot. Deflected just wide. Veleno with the rebound in the near corner. Played it up on the wing, but not out. At long shot in traffic. Off a body and into the far corner as Gallagher and McCabe battle for position in front. From the side of the goal, the puck is broken up. And Robertson on one knee trying to control it in along the boards is doing well there against Veleno. Now he gets back up on his feet, and Veleno is down on a knee, and Robertson is able to dig the puck free, but can't make a play. Then McCabe bowls over his man, and Tavares will turn, or at least Joshua will turn and get it to the blue line, but not out. Montreal will change. Leafs are doing likewise as Jake McCabe goes back behind the net. Played ahead. Machelli couldn't get away. Leafs penned in their own zone. Canadians keep it alive with good forechecking. McCabe's been on for a while. Leafs get it to the line, and it's going to get out. Bobby McMahon going wide on the defense. Sharp angle shot handled easily by Dobish. Chopped along the boards. Machelli kept it in momentarily. Dobish teeing it up for a defenseman. And the Canadians are going to get it out into the center ice area. Toronto back in neutral ice. Lawton couldn't push it to the line. Couple of turnovers, and the Canadians have to go back into their own zone to come up with it with 22 seconds left in the period. Jack-Eye is back of the goal. A 2-0 Montreal lead. And right now it looks like they're just going to sit on it. Now Jack-Eye gets it up on the wing, but a turnover, and the Leafs get it to Nylander. He can't get around Jack-Eye. Puck to center ice. 5 seconds left in the period, and over the line, Slafkovsky set it wide of the net as the horn. Actually, the siren. I think it's the only rink that has a siren.
What about Boston? No?
Oh, maybe you're right.
And Boston may have well. But everything was going well for the Leafs until turned the puck over, and the Canadians get a couple of defensemen that jump into the rush. Two guys that they're expecting to do that, Lane Hudson and Noah Dobson. And a little bit of luck on the Dobson one. Through a maze. Might have even glanced off a Leaf on the way to the net. But the Leafs, everything was exactly the way we've wanted it to be over the last 4 or 5 games. You're without some offensive power. And as a group, I thought they were pretty good in the first, 12, 13 minutes. But couldn't afford the cracks that they had defensively.
They outshoot the Canadians 11-9, but are outscored 2-0. We'll step aside. Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Megyn Kelly Channel, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I feel like our majority is being ruined.
By what exactly?
Inaction.
Ben Shapiro.
Everyone can make their own decision as to whether they think that I am right or whether I am wrong, and where they choose to draw the line with regard to the conservative movement.
Tucker Carlson.
This has to be about our common Americanness. We're all American citizens, and if our politics is not about that, it can't continue.
Don't miss a moment on the all-new Megyn Kelly Channel, Sirius XM 111, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Just the nature of the NHL. As bad as things seem, as good as things seem, the NHL just has a way of leveling out. Everyone is doing okay. And it's just one real clump in the middle. No one's really separating. No one's really falling off completely.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
We deliver the NHL.
Jeff Gorton, the president of hockey operations for the Montreal Canadiens.
Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. How much do their games complement each other?
They're sort of reading each other's minds of where to be. And Nick is so bright. His hockey sense is so good. I think that Cole is feeding off it. It's been fun to watch. And like I said, they're pretty young. They're still getting better, but they're driving our bus every day. And
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Connor McDavid, fourth fastest player to ever score 1,100 points. I want to say he's the third best offensive player of all time. That's Mario and him. Mind-blowing production of the highest order for Connor McDavid. It just made my head spin that he was able to be that consistent that long.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert with your intermission breakdown. And it was a bit of a breakdown out there for the Leafs. Down 2-0 to the Montreal Canadiens after 20 minutes in a game we teed up as almost must win, must show up, must compete, and a little bit of a deficit to start.
Who would you say, Ailish, between the two sides playing a key game on Hockey Night in Canada, was the more ready to go, more competitive, more willing to perform under the big spotlight that is that platform?
I would say, without a doubt, the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, without question.
What do I win?
And it's not because they're up 2-0 and that's like the low-hanging fruit. They came out angry.
Oh, they were insane.
Our Bergerac guy was just looking for a fight. They're running around. They're hitting everything that moves. Every single guy is involved and engaged physically. And they wanted to start something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a puck don't lie to this, because this is a competitive sport. This isn't shinny. This isn't, skate around and let skill win. That's not hockey. That's not hockey. And the Montreal Canadiens were eventually penalized, maybe a little overdue, but were eventually penalized for being a little overzealous, a little bit more aggressive, and they were able to kill off that penalty and immediately score the go-ahead goal after that penalty. So it just felt like one team showed up ready to fight and improve their position in the Eastern Conference standings, were more mad about their current plight, and were rewarded for it, even after having to kill off a penalty to do so.
Yeah, one team looked ready to go, and one team looked vanilla.
It's that word again.
That word again. Except for one player, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Honestly, I've been very impressed with
They were going after him.
They were going after him.
Because they probably know he's the only one that's willing to do anything.
He was standing up for himself, and no one else was around. He was throwing hits, and he was getting in scrums, and he looks like frustrated all the time when I feel like he looks around and sees nobody near him to support. And he got targeted, I think, because you're right. He's a guy that'll kind of give it back. But I didn't see any other Leafs really step up to the occasion or to defend a player or throw a glove in a face and give him a face wash or say anything. It was very different in terms of the intensity, and this is what we've been talking about with this Leafs team. And you would think Hockey Night in Canada, Saturday night at the Bell Center, like, hello, where's the angst? Where's the let's get out of the basement of the Atlantic. Let's beat this team that we could definitely beat and not feel sorry for ourselves that we've got injuries. So I'll credit to Oliver Ekman-Larsson because he's the guy that's showing the physicality and the emotion of the moment. And I didn't see that from anyone else.
Yeah, I'll credit the Jack guys because Florian gets in on the forecheck. And
First shift?
I believe, first hit, I believe it was Dakota Joshua he hit with that. No, actually, no, it was Troy Stetcher. But he got a lick on Dakota Joshua
Troy Stetcher,
as well.
They said, hey, leave Troy Stetcher alone.
And then our Bergerac guy went up after Dakota Joshua. So they're not, it is Troy Stetcher, he's the smallest one, but he's good on the forecheck. That's fair game. But they're going after the biggest, toughest looking guy on the Maple Leafs too. And they're not getting any response. Like they're out there looking for it. And everyone except Oliver Ekman-Larsson is out there shying away from it.
Yeah,
pretty clear what the difference was. That and the ultra skill of Lane Hudson.
Yes, so Lane Hudson gets a goal. Cole Caulfield and Lane Hudson manufacturing a very nice goal. While Team USA GM Bill Guerin is in attendance.
Hello,
check mark, ding ding ding. It was. Those two have a nice magic connection, and we weren't surprised that Lane Hudson got on the board, but he's very talented. I laugh because of our producer, David Siss, who's a big fan of Lane Hudson. We always poke fun at him, but no, I can see the reasoning. He's real good.
The obsession isn't completely misguided. Yeah, he's really talented. And if you fall asleep in the defensive zone, if you carelessly give away the puck in the neutral zone, as Jake McCabe did in the lead up to that goal, maybe even the video team was sleeping again. A lot of people calling that it could have been offside, and maybe they know that it wasn't. But there were some whispers about, was that offside? So maybe we can get a better look at that eventually. But fact is facts. Lane Hudson put it in the back of the net after the Maple Leafs failed to heed to the situation defensively. And then Noah Dobson, another kind of similar situation, scores the 2-0 goal. Just Montreal works it around the offensive zone. Leafs are collapsing defensively into the shell, and a hardly hit puck, a hard hit puck, takes a bit of a deflection and goes in.
Second goal was Noah Dobson, slap shot from the point. I believe it hits off something or doesn't, but it's kind of like a knuckle puck on the whole way in. I'm watching the replay now, and it might have hit something, it might not have, but it goes right in the net. It's kind of fluttering. So those are the two goals for the Montreal Canadiens. They're up 2-0 after 20 minutes.
Yep, pretty simple. Leafs find themselves at a disadvantage yet again, and see if they can crawl back a little bit.
We'll take a quick break. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and we'll get you set for the second period. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Okay, category is ways Desjardins Insurance goes the extra mile to make insurance easy. First question, what are some of the things you can easily do online or in the app?
Oh, view your policy.
Add a new driver.
Oh, update your address when you move.
Easy. You guys are good.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never give up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL Shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca. A Fanatics experience.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. EyeSight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall foliage, standard. Guy announcing the radio ad now wanting a Subaru? Yeah, standard. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. And get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Hey, seriously, can I get one?
Bet365 is paying out. The NHL. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. T&Cs apply.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Welcome back to Put Down That Phone! Time for our speed round. Players, you scroll 4 hours per day. Is that enough? Maybe.
Wow, yes.
Jen's bored. With just 1 hour back, what could you gain?
A hobby, human connection, time to create.
What device checks those boxes?
A real camera, the Canon R50V.
Bonus round. The world's most complete creator camera is the R50V. The V stands for?
Video, vlogging, vision.
Canon makes cameras. The R50Vs for creators. Visit canon.ca/level up for Black Friday deals.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. It's a 2-0 lead for the Montreal Canadiens after 20 minutes. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard presented by Bet365. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
In the Stanley Cup final rematch, the Edmonton Oilers have a 3-1 lead over the Florida Panthers. End of one. Jack Roslovic.
The brawl?
I did not.
Oh, check your DMs.
Okay, I'll get to that.
Crazy brawl.
Roslovic with 2 goals in that one, so a good start for the Oilers there. The Flyers up 4-1 early on the New Jersey Devils. Penguins trailing the Kraken 1-0, about 5 minutes into the second period. The Lightning have jumped out all over the Capitals. Brandon Hagel with 2 goals for the Lightning, who are up 4-1. Second period just about to get underway. 1-1 Senators and Sharks. Dylan Cousins has a goal in that one, and it's scoreless. And just starting. Avalanche and Predators from Nashville. Still to come tonight, the Rangers make the trip to Utah to take on the Mammoth. Stars and Flames from Calgary. Golden Knights and Ducks from Anaheim. And earlier today, the Red Wings beat the Blue Jackets 4-3, and the Blues got a 2-1 victory over the Islanders.
We talked about not having a lot of fight/energy. Watch the 2 defending Stanley Cup attendees duke it out.
That's my theory. The Oilers the season starts once you meet Florida.
That's it. It perked them up, so maybe the Leafs can learn something in terms of a little intensity. 2-0 lead for the Montreal Canadiens after 20 minutes. Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen will have the call the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The MLS Cup Playoffs Eastern Conference semifinals are on Sirius XM FC. Doubleheader coverage kicks off with FC Cincinnati versus Inter Miami.
Here it comes, Messi!
Then top-seeded Philadelphia Union battle NYCFC.
DeMarino, score!
It's an MLS playoff doubleheader Sunday afternoon at 5 Eastern in English on Sirius XM FC 157 and in Espanol on App Channel 1999.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Just the nature of the NHL. As bad as things seem, as good as things seem, the NHL just has a way of leveling out. Everyone is doing okay. And it's just one real clump in the middle. No one's really separating. No one's really falling off completely.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs have some work to do in the second period, down 2-0 to the Bleu, Blanc, et Rouge, and we should send along our very best to the Roadrunner. Yvon Cournoyer, turning 82 years young today, and congratulations to him.
In attendance.
Yes.
At the game tonight.
Saw a shot of him and his wife. And this is also an anniversary. 2003. The very first outdoor game.
Pittsburgh Buffalo.
No, I think the Heritage Classic was Pittsburgh Buffalo the first one. Then this might have been, but this was in Edmonton. Remember, it was so cold.
Right. Yeah, no.
I think it's the first outdoor
Well, it might have been.
game.
That, well, that would have been before Crosby was in the league, right?
Yeah. Montreal beat Edmonton 4-3.
Remember, was it Jose Theodore had the toque?
A toque on top of his
mask,
that really helped.
Yeah, that would have been a head, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep. Leafs playing their 6th road game. Flyers have played 7. Sabres have played 8. Nashville have played 8.
And the Leafs just 1-5 on the road. So when you look at a lot of things that have to change, yes, getting healthy bodies back is one, but winning away from home is the other. The only win was a few weeks ago on a Saturday night in Philadelphia.
It's really not a true 6-game road trip. It's 6 games away.
They'll come back tonight.
Because they'll come back tonight. They have an event tomorrow. Here's a turnover and a shot. Good save made by Wall off the stick of Caulfield. They have a social event tomorrow night and then don't play again till Wednesday. Long shot blocked, but the cup comes to the far side. And Wall cuts across and makes a big-time save there.
Boy, and that
off Suzuki again on another turnover.
Well, it all starts, again, it's Jake McCabe to Simon Benoit, but McCabe throws it too hard around the boards. Benoit gets caught chasing it up the left wing side, and the Leafs never get it back. And Joseph Wall has to make 2 great stops on one-timers in the right wing circle. First one off Caulfield, the second one off Nick Suzuki.
He actually got fortunate on the last one because he was sliding past the net when he reached back and caught the puck about midway into the net. They say la vie. That's French, Mr. Brown. I passed one French exam in 4 years of high school, and that's all I learned. Brought to the left wing side by Riley and sent down into the Montreal zone. Back of the net. Lawton couldn't get it out in front. Canadiens breaking back at center. Played to the line. Tipped back to the blue line and then brought in offside by Montreal. And a face-off will come in neutral ice.
Interesting line combination here. Easton Gowan with Scott Lawton and Bobby McMahon. I thought we would see Cowan maybe start this period back with Tavares and Willie Nylander. Tavares and Nylander, other than Tavares, that opportunity, right, Joe, out of the corner on the power play, did not generate a whole lot of offense in the opening 20.
Launched high into the Toronto zone, far side, forechecking there, Slavkovsky. Puck to the near corner. Riley got there but had it taken away. It comes back to the blue line, but the Leafs pick it off and get it ahead. Here's Lawton in on the left wing. Toe drag. Poked off his stick before he could get the shot away. Canadian Slavkovsky again. On the right wing to the line. That's a close play at the blue line. Centering pass down his Wall. And he's covered up on that. As I think that was Hudson who ended up going to the net. That was a close play on an offside.
I already mentioned that Joseph Wall's career numbers against Montreal, a perfect 3-0, 1.67 goals against average, 942 save percentage coming into this game. The goals against has already taken a hit. But they may need him to be perfect here the rest of the way if the Leafs are going to be able to find their way back into it.
Draw in the Toronto zone. Domi leans in. Puck is dropped. Canadians get it down into the corner. Swept around by Evans to the far side. Backhanded back down into the corner. Domi trying to get to it and does and plays it ahead. And Robertson will get it out at center ice and it'll be played to the Montreal blue line. And then it bogs down and turns into an offside, so it's going to be brought back out into the neutral zone.
Good news is Dakota Mermis back out. We saw him leave in the opening period. Looked like he took a shot to the throat area.
I think he was the architect of his own demise. It went right up off his stick.
Yeah.
Puck hit him in the trough. Right into trough, Mr. Ralph.
That's why I don't understand where players aren't wearing the net guards. And we're talking about scrambles in front and everything else.
And they've used it all the way through minor hockey and junior, right?
Yeah.
Blais will take the face-off as Lorenz was waved out. Canadians back in their own zone. Brought out by Carrier and rolled in wide of the Leaf goal. Back of the net, Oliver Ekman-Larsson tied up his man. The puck comes free for Riley in the near corner. He gets it ahead, and Michelli got it to the line and out, but not much further. Canadians playing it around back of the net. Near side, Carrier sends it down into the corner. Bounce to the blue line and out, says the linesman. Brought in offside by Montreal.
Broken stick on the ice right in front of Joseph Wall as well. That was a Montreal stick. And I believe it was the forward Jack guy that dropped it, broke his stick and then dropped it right in the slot in front of Joseph Wall.
Neither team very good in the second period. Toronto -10, Montreal -9.
It's hard to explain, right? But you have these trends that start early on in the season, and then all of a sudden,
they become a glaring.
Yeah, you're in February and you're saying, "Boy, it hasn't gotten
any better." Yeah. Canadians get the puck out at center ice. Caulfield launches it high into the left wing corner. McCabe played it back of the net, cut off there and blocked by Bolduc. Back to the point it comes. D on the near side. Shot taken by Dobson, and that deflected just wide. Canadians back to the point again. Dobson gets it returned. Another shot coming off the shoulder of Wall. And it'll be played off the boards and right onto Dobson's stick again. Leafs don't get it out. Puck pushed up on the near wing. Nylander will scoop it out at center. And McCabe can do no better than to just send it into the zone to allow a change of players to happen for Toronto. Now the Leafs get a turnover, centering pass, and a slap shot
the guys
taken
are
there
coming back that know the
by
offense.
Nylander. Ramps off his stick and
one thing that
finds the
checks that box.
screen.
But
and back of
how good
Dobish.
the younger guys are really.
That might have been Bolduc. Just was able to get his stick on that as Nylander was about to tee it up. But boy, the Leafs in their own end. I mean, they've been horrid again, and they've gone back to that collapsed defense, haven't they? Where they're leaving the circles open, the boards wide open. And Montreal is just picking lanes to find the one-timers, and Joseph Wall has faced 3 of them already here 4 minutes into the opening period.
Face-off coming in the Montreal zone. Leafs win the draw. Mermis mishandled the puck, then did well just to keep it in. Banked back to the point. One-timer coming. Kicked away by Dobish. In along the near boards. And the Canadians have it up on the near wing. Cut off there nicely by Bobby McMahon. McMahon banks it back of the net for Cowan. Cowan trying to elude the checking. Tried to one-hand it out in front. Got support from McMahon. A pass in front of the net. Lawton couldn't finish for him. Comes back to the blue line. Leafs keep it in with a long shot. That is deflected, and now Montreal will get it out into the center ice area. 2-0 Canadians in the second period. All of the scoring in the first. Wall can't get to the puck as it was in the non-trapezoidal area, and the Leafs do well just to get it out. Canadians trying to change as the Leafs get it ahead. Almost too many men on the ice there for Toronto. Brought back in over the line for Slavkovsky. Into the slot, and they score! Dobson coming in late. Troy Stetcher couldn't get to him. And the Canadians have upped the margin to 3-0.
Leafs only have 3 men back. They all collapse back on Joseph Wall. And the puck is then played back to the high slot. And Dobson just steps into it. Leafs get caught on a bit of a line change. They've got numbers back, but then everybody loses coverage. Once again, Slafkovsky was wide open. Then Demidov was wide open. And then Dobson's wide open. You get the Leafs, everybody back on their heels, and nobody has picked the man. I mean, that pass from Demidov to Dobson, Joe, there wasn't a Leaf within 15 feet of either one of them.
And Joseph Wall somewhat overplayed the shot, trying to come across.
Well, you got to figure somebody's covered if this guy's wide open.
Second goal of the game for Dobson, third of the season. Jack-Eye and the Maple Leafs, Joshua shoving a little bit. And they're talking with one another. I don't know if anything more is going to materialize here. They win the draw, the Canadiens do. They skate to center, working in on the left wing. Oliver Ekman-Larsson got turned around. The puck into the corner. Domi taking his man down, but can't make a play. Canadiens have it in the offensive zone again. They're up 3-0. Far side, Demidov tried to play it in front. Knocked away, and Robertson trying to get the puck out, was dragged down there by Kapanen. And it'll be played deeper into the Toronto end, and Montreal will make a change. Riley launching it down into the Montreal zone. Jack-Eye plays around to the near corner. Hudson got it up on the wing. Tavares was able to keep it in momentarily. Canadiens get it out at center ice. Mermis turning with it there. Playing it ahead. Back at center ice. Montreal in on the right side. Jake Evans plays it around the boards to the far side. Cut off there by Florian Jack-Eye to the near wing. Kept alive by Dobson. Dobson has it taken away by Nylander, but Nylander loses the puck, and a long shot had to be stopped by Joseph Wall. 3-0 Montreal as it's down into the Canadian zone, and it's going to be an icing call against Toronto.
And the Leafs just have nothing going. Nothing offensively, a struggle in their own zone. I mean, if they were ever to come back and win this game, Joe, it would be as big a surprise as the Pittsburgh game. Remember, they were down 3-0 after the second. That looked absolutely horrible and exploded for 4 straight in the third period. But right now, it just looks like it's frustration has set in for the Leafs.
Nick Robertson was almost pushed into the Montreal bench after he was knocked down and trying to get to the Toronto bench. Puck in the Toronto zone. Suzuki and Caulfield. Suzuki coming out of the corner, back to the point it comes, walking the line, and a backhand well wide of the net, but no one there to grab it. And Nylander went right by him. At the point, a long shot blocked there, and trying to get up and not having much success at it right now is Cowan, I believe. He's limping badly. Puck to the near side for Matheson. Matheson tries to work in front. Tavares had a pretty good hook on him, but no call. Cowan is limping around out there, but staying on the ice. Played back to the point. If he takes another block, it's not going to be fun. Back to the point once more. Over on the near wing for Demidov. Demidov into the slot. Long change. And, I mean, Cowan can't do anything. He might as well get to the bench. Pass on the far side. And it's deflected into the near corner. Demidov back to the blue line. Penalty coming to Toronto anyway. Down into the corner, into the slot area. And off a stick of Nylander to stop play, and Easton Cowan limping to the bench after blocking that shot.
Leafs have one pointed outshot the Canadiens 9-4. It is now 15-12 in favor of the Canadiens, and they've got 3 goals to go with it.
Is it Stetcher getting the penalty, or is it Tavares?
Looks like Tavares.
Yeah. So the second power play of the game for Montreal coming as a result. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation, Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in. Because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Canadian, Export, Ultra, Excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Of the NHL. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. T&Cs apply.
The fall get-together is here at Canadian Blood Services, which means it's the perfect time to grab your crew, hit up a donor center, and experience what you get when you give together. It's not just about donating blood and plasma. It's about showing up and feeling like we actually did something.
Jesse, you're up.
Awesome. Be right there. Book an appointment today at blood.ca and experience what you get when you give. Canadian Blood Services. Who's saving who?
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Cross the line with a pass, and they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
It is a 3-0 Montreal lead, and bad is going to worse here as the Leafs have John Tavares in the penalty box, and the second power play for Montreal. Centering past Suzuki to the left wing side. Caulfield couldn't shoot it. Back to Hudson. To Caulfield on the far side. Caulfield now back of the net to Suzuki. Suzuki holds. Back to Hudson. Hudson to the near side. Demidov doesn't shoot it. When he did, it was stopped. Rebound back to the point. Off to the near wing. Demidov cross ice. Stick in the way there from Lawton. Or from Lorenz. Knocked it into the corner. Here are the Canadians with it again. Suzuki down into the corner. Caulfield back to Suzuki. Return to Caulfield, who replaces him at the half board. Centering pass blocked there by McCabe. Canadians throwing it around the outside. Haven't taken it to the net yet. Now Caulfield still with it in the circle on the far side. Centering pass. Big save made there on a shot by Zachary Bolduc. And a good save made by Joseph Wall.
Bolduc, 2 of his 4 goals have come on the power play. He had 3 goals in his first 3 games of the season. So he's cooled off since then, coming over from St. Louis in the offseason. 1:11 to go here in this Montreal power play. Maybe a penalty kill can give the Leafs some kind of life, but still a long way to go on this.
Face off to the right in the Toronto zone. Minute 11 left to go in the power play. 12:24 to go in the period, and it's 3-0 Canadiens. Back to the point. Dobson, far side, shot into the chest. Knocked away by Wall into the corner. Leafs get to it, but don't clear. It's back to the point again. Near side, and a quick one-timer by Slafkovsky went wide, and it caroms all the way to center. Noah Dobson has to go back to his own blue line to restore it. 47 seconds left in the power play. Slafkovsky breaks in. Big save made by Wall. He went right through the defense. Back to the point. Dobson again. Off onto the left wing side. Slafkovsky holding. Looks in front. Still has it. Back to the point. One-timer from the other side. And that wires off the dasher board and goes out of play.
Well, that play pretty much sums up the way the night's gone, hasn't it? Basically a 1-on-4. And Slafkovsky just keeps going. He looks up. Everybody sort of parts. Dakota Mermis was the one that really got caught. I think maybe thinking he was going to get a little bit of help from Steven Lorenz. And then Joseph Wall kind of gets lost in this. If it hasn't been for Joseph Wall, especially here in the second period, this could be 5-6-0.
The whole idea is most power plays, when they get to that point, turn and stop up. And I think that's what the Leaf defense thought was going to happen. And Slafkovsky just said, you know what? I got an avenue here. I'm going to go to the net. And he almost made it 4. Now they do get a chance in front of the goal. Down was Wall, and it's knocked wide of the net with 12 seconds left in the power play. Pass into the slot, near side. Quickly across the ice, trying to find Slafkovsky as the penalty expires.
Another one coming.
Another one coming. All right, cleared to the line, but not out. Here are the Canadians back into the corner. Now we can see the official with the arm up. Yep. Near side, Demidov. Back to the point once more. Hudson into the corner. Centering pass. That was deflected wide. Leafs have not been able to gain possession of the puck. Cross-ice pass, Slafkovsky. Coming out of the corner, a shot. Wall down and makes an excellent save there off Suzuki. Canadians pressing again. Here's Slafkovsky. Down into the corner. Demidov holding. Official is going to need some absorbing junior on that arm. Back to the point. Montreal keeping it alive. Into the slot, Demidov. To the far side and down into the corner again. 6 attackers on for the Canadians. Delayed penalty coming to Toronto. It'll be the 4th power play if the Leafs don't get to the puck. A dive by Lorenz couldn't make contact. Still free as it comes back into the slot. Off on the wing, Slafkovsky a shot. Oh, what a brilliant pad save, but the blocker by Wall.
Mask came off, and Wall turns and stares at the official, saying, what took so long to blow the whistle? I know, remember we went through the rules when it happened with Anthony Stolarz a while ago earlier in the season, where it's not necessarily automatic that they blow the whistle. But this was another one where this time it was Demidov that was able to walk through the Leaf defense. I know you're a man short, but he walks through 2 players and was hooked to the ice. And the Montreal Canadiens, 10:08 to go in the second period, and Joseph Wall is just giving it to the ref because that could have been another shot fired.
So without it being whistled down, what happens? I mean, you think of the worst case scenario. You take one right between the lookers.
Yeah.
Right? And,
well, I mean,
and a career is over.
I haven't got the rule in front of me again, but there was something that's a little goofy in it. Looks like the Canadians have taken a timeout. Why wouldn't they? The power play guys have got to be pretty tired at this point. But if the goaltender's in immediate danger, which sounds like a stupid clause to have.
Guess what? They're shooting it at me.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in danger. Thank you. And it's going to be Cowan who's penalized.
No, I think part of it is same goaltender loses his mask on a point shot and the puck drops and somebody taps it in. Even though the mask came off, then it's a continuation of the play. But I mean, when a guy's got the puck at the top of the circle ready to wind up and hammer it, and your goalie's without a mask, I'm thinking that's probably a pretty good time to blow it.
Yep.
Regardless, Leafs are just in all kinds of trouble here in the second period. Down 2-0 after 1, down 3-0, and now
second straight power play for Montreal.
Penalty trouble, and 5-on-5 has been a chore for them, for the Leafs.
All smiles for the Canadians. Although you did point out there was a game, but the Leafs had a little more firepower on the bench for that one.
I said Jake McCabe, but we saw Easton Cowan was in the box. And it looks like, according to the board here, Jake McCabe may have gone to the dressing room. Oh, yeah, he took a shot right in the mouth.
Is that the puck?
Yeah. Almost on the side of the right side of the face.
So when did he take the penalty? Pad behind the bench. Not sure what.
Maybe it's a Montreal setup on the power play.
Oh, maybe, but
I mean, you know, Caulfield is going to be in position on the left dot for the one-timer. 20-12 now, the shots favoring Montreal. So what, 17-3 since midway through the first?
Face off to the left of Wall. And add insult to injury. Leafs get thrown out of the face-off circle. So Lorenz will move in to take the draw. And wins it cleanly. It goes off the glass, back of the net, and cleared just out at center ice, forcing the Canadians back into neutral ice. Hudson dropping it back. Suzuki comes to center. Got a return pass from Demidov. Tried to roll it in front. Intercepted by the Leafs. played out at center and gingerly rolled down into Montreal territory to allow a change of penalty killers. Might have been a shorthanded rush orchestrated there, but with the long change in the second period, seemed to be the wiser of the play. Played around back of the net into the Toronto zone. Lawton can't catch up to it. Pokes it back towards the blue line, but the Canadiens keep it in. Caulfield, pass off a stick, is going to carry him. It's a high stick, and the Maple Leafs are able to get to it, and Lorenz sends it down the ice. Montreal, Suzuki. On the left wing side, Slafkovsky wraps around the goal, goes around into the near corner, gets it back to the point. Fed off on the far side, then by Dobson. Puck comes back to Dobson again at the point into the middle of the ice. Dished off on the left wing side. A pass to the near wing. Slafkovsky missed that one-timer completely. Gets it again on the near half boards. Slafkovsky back to the point. Dobson to the other side. Unable to shoot it there was Suzuki. Back to Dobson to Slafkovsky and a shot right on. Stop, rebound. Couple of pad saves and then another good save made by Wall on a scramble play in front of the net.
25 seconds to go in the penalty to Jake McCabe, but Joseph Wall holding the Leafs into respectability here in the second period.
Boy, that second opportunity, I don't know how that didn't go in.
He bobbled the first one, and the puck was pushed away from him.
Oh, just
boy.
hit the bottom of his skate and stayed out.
Good job by Dakota Joshua to get back and at least get part of Slafkovsky's stick to slow the puck up a bit.
Leafs being outshot 12-1 in this period. And the Canadiens won the draw so cleanly, it goes all the way back into their own zone. Dobson goes around back of the net. Slafkovsky is the trailer. He'll take the drop pass, and then instead it's Oliver Kapanen getting it down into the zone. He had it knocked away, and the Leafs have a shorthanded rush orchestrated here. In over the line was Robertson. He mishandles the puck, but the Leafs get it again, and then a sharp angle shot handled easily there by Dobish. Penalty has expired. So on the bright side, the Leafs penalty killing has been pretty good. Centering pass goes around the boards to the near side. Dobson sending it back to the far wing. Nylander is able to come away with it. Nylander now trying to get away from the checking from behind, and it was taken away from him, and the Canadiens have it again in their own zone. Dobson again. Sent in off a stick and into the zone. Hustling after it is Florian Jacki. He was ridden off the puck as it comes up on the wing, and the Leafs are back in their own zone. Machelli dropping it off for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Got it up on the wing, and it's banked out at center ice, but the Canadiens come away with it again. Jake Evans sending it into the zone. Leafs get it up on the near wing. Cowan didn't have it reach him. Good to see him back on the ice after blocking that shot that he was in some difficulty. Nylander back of the goal, lost it. Here the Canadiens back at it with 6:59 to play in the period. Long shot steered wide of the goal by Wall. Canadiens onto the puck again. Coming out was Anderson. Shot scores. A shot from an angle off the roof of the net. And Josh Anderson makes this a laugher. It's 4-0.
And the Leafs caught in their own zone, back on their heels. And eventually Josh Anderson has way too much time and space, and the face-off dot. I mean, he backs out from behind the net. Looks up. He goes from the goal line, backs out to the bottom of the circle, and with Morgan Rielly as a bit of a screen, puts it off the left shoulder short side on Joseph Wall to give Montreal a 4-0 lead.
Canadiens. Sorry, Jim.
I was going to say, why wouldn't Josh Anderson do that? That's his 15th career goal against the Canadiens in 39 games, and the mercy pull is happening here as Dennis Hildeby is going to come in for Wall. And there's no sense doing this to Joseph Wall at this point.
No. Canadiens trying to even up the season series. Leafs winning opening night. And they are having their way with the Leafs to this point in the game with 6:49 left in the second period. It is now 4-0.
The Leafs have not been good against their own division. Even the split with Buffalo. Buffalo took 3 out of 4 points by taking the only lost overtime. The Leafs lost back-to-back to the Detroit Red Wings. They lost both games against Boston. And they have not yet seen Tampa Bay, Florida, or the Ottawa Senators this year.
Florian Xhekaj is going to get his first career point in his first NHL game on that goal.
Leafs have just been slow in this game, right? In their own end, it's been as bad as they've been all season.
Played in over the line, out of the reach of the Leaf forward Blais. It goes around back of the net. The Canadiens trying to play it up ice, had it intercepted, brought right back in over the line by Toronto. Into the corner for Blais, but he had it knocked off his stick. And Xhekaj plays it around back of his own goal. Leafs were able to intercept, but have to regroup it at center ice. Michelli to the line, in on the right side. Blais with it again, nowhere to go with it. Sends it down into the corner. Pass into the slot, looking for Benoit. That didn't work. And it is played by Blais around back of the net to the far side. Canadiens fans serenading the Maple Leafs. And a pass blocked but kept in by Lawton. 5:50 to play in the period. Long shot. And Dobish has absolutely no trouble with this. And he will stop play for a face-off in the Montreal zone. He's almost could have taken the period off.
Is that 2 shots now?
I believe. 4-0 Montreal. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To everybody that be living it up, we said. Yo, what's up? It's Sirius XM Fly. I can't come to the phone right now because I'm over on Channel 50 playing those 90s. What's my name? Let's flip the track from the old school back. And 2000s hip-hop and R&B throwbacks. Commercial free 24/7. Pull up Channel 50 and at home with Sirius XM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices. Holla.
Under review. And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltendings? Stop it. Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
We deliver the NHL.
Jeff Gorton, the president of hockey operations for the Montreal Canadiens.
Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. How much do their games complement each other?
They're sort of reading each other's minds of where to be. And Nick is so bright. His hockey sense is so good. I think that Cole is feeding off it. It's been fun to watch. And like I said, they're pretty young. They're still getting better, but they're driving our bus every day. And
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bone and Jim Ralph back with you, and the Canadiens running roughshod over the Maple Leafs by a score of 4-0. And the game isn't that close. Joseph Woll.
I think this might be the worst of the year, and maybe the one in Columbus was before this.
Long shot, easy pad save made by Dobish, and then a Riley pass goes off a stick into the screen.
The worst thing is, you get one early and you try to outwork Montreal. It's not like they were coming in full of confidence as the Canadiens were on a 5-game losing streak. But the Leafs have really just, haven't been able to compete with Montreal. Have looked slow, made all kinds of mistakes with their coverage in their own end, which is just
broken down. Yep.
Yeah.
Second period brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance. Is really big on care. Riley's shot went well wide of the goal. The Leafs back in the center ice area. Brought by Mermis back into the zone and played into the corner, but Montreal has it under control and get it ahead and get it out at center ice. Oliver Ekman-Larsson ties up his man. Canadians get it up on the left wing. A pass back into the corner. The infirmary is starting to get better as Nyes and Matthews have skated, but it's still a ways away. And probably not until Wednesday night anyway, when the Maple Leafs are in Columbus. As a weak pass goes off a skate and wide of the Montreal goal. Canadians back of the net. Get it up on the boards, but not out. And now it bounces to center. And the Canadians are through neutral ice and in. A drop pass into the slot was out of the reach of the Montreal forward, Suzuki. Leafs in their own zone. Get it out into neutral ice. Nylander circles, gets to center, played it in on the right side for Tavares. He sends it around the boards. Cowan couldn't come up with it, but Nylander does. Back to the point, fanning on a one-timer, and then a rebound to the far side, and a Tavares shot is caught by Dobish, and he will stop play and bring a face-off in the Canadian zone with 4:07 left to play in the second period. Canadians 4, the Maple Leafs no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Okay. First question. When does Desjardins Insurance suggest you switch to winter tires?
Below 7 degrees. Easy.
Nice. Next, what's a smart way to save money on your home insurance?
Switch to Desjardins Insurance and you could save up to $900 when you bundle home and auto. Easy.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation, Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in, because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Canadian, export, ultra, excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
With a Subaru, a vehicle that's built to last comes standard. Heated front seats? Standard. High ground clearance? Standard. EyeSight driver assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging, and eating all at once? Standard. Parallel parking perfectly while someone watches? Uncommon. But in a Subaru? Standard-ish. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. And get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey.
Centering scores! Max Domi! My goodness!
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Montreal 4, the Maple Leafs no score. Hudson Dobson with a pair, and Anderson scoring for Montreal in that order. And the Leafs being outshot 25-14 in the game. And at one point, we're being outshot 12-1 here in this second period. Cleared down into the Montreal zone, forcing the defense Carrier back. He gives the puck away. Michelli got it into the corner. Return pass for Michelli. He cycles out, sends it in front of the net. Riley had crept in, but the pass was knocked away just at the last second. Riley able to knock down a pass, and Domi off to Michelli. Returns to Domi, who gets into the zone on the right wing. Holds up into the slot area. Oliver Ekman-Larsson couldn't shoot it. Gets it back to Riley. One-timer then by Domi. Goes off a stick and up into the screen and out of play. So the face-off will be in the Montreal zone with 3:26 to play in the period.
You always go back to some what-ifs, right?
What if?
I thought the Leafs were decent in the first 10 minutes of the game. What if they score on their first power play?
What if? Okay.
I mean, we'll never know.
No,
that's why it's a what-if.
Exactly.
But then right after the power play, there's the giveaway that ends up back from their own net. The next thing you know, it's 2-0, and the road seemed to be on.
Here are the Canadians. Slafkovsky to the far side. And a shot knocked down by Hildeby. And the Leafs have it back in their own zone. The Leafs road trip on this 6-gamer here in Montreal, then at Columbus, at Washington, at Pittsburgh. And after that, it gets even more interesting at Florida, at Carolina. Puck in the Toronto zone. Benoit able to skate it out at center. Off onto the right wing side for Nylander. Nylander closes into the slot. Cowan dropping it back. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, a shot. Scores! The Leafs at least answer here in the second period. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's point shot set up by Cowan. And it is 4-1.
Well, we do know that the Montreal goaltending hasn't been stellar. Leafs really haven't tested Dobish in this game, and this with a little bit of traffic in front. But boy, it really looked like Slafkovsky, Joe, was he the only one in front by the time this shot is let go? Both Tavares and Xhekaj had sort of cleared the front of the net. And a snapshot from the high slot as the Leafs on the board.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson with his third goal and his 16th point of the season.
Montreal had given up 27 goals in the 5 games coming into this one. And what is the question here?
I think we're ready to go. Yep, puck is dropped, so everything is copacetic, and the Canadiens have it at their blue line. Hudson got it ahead, but not into the zone. Puck is right at the Toronto blue line, now launched high, back of the goal, played into the corner. Oliver Ekman-Larsson missed a hit, but the Leafs get the puck elevated to center. It'll bounce to the far side, and Lawton will backhand it down into the Montreal zone. 2:10 left to play in the second period. And a 2-0 lead turned into a 4-0 lead that has now at least been marginalized down to a 3-goal lead for the Canadiens. Leafs Nylander turning in his own zone. Willie gets the puck ahead, but Riley couldn't handle the pass, and now the Leafs have got too many men on the ice.
The Leafs or Montreal? That might be the Canadiens, so that play was right in front of the Montreal bench.
I thought Nylander was trying to get to the Toronto bench and then had to go back and get the puck. But you have a sharper eye for too many men on the ice.
No.
And I agree now that I stand aside.
Not sharper eye, sharper mind.
Well, let's not start an argument. Oh, I mean, really. Second power play of the game coming here for the Maple Leafs. And if they entertain any thoughts of duplicating what they did in Montreal not so long ago, they better score here.
That was down 3-0 after one. Leafs ended up, I believe, 7-3 was the final.
Tavares will take the face-off in the offensive zone on the power play. And the draw won by the Canadiens. Hudson got it back of the net. Brought out off a loose puck, and that was knocked past Riley and down into Toronto territory. It looked like the Leafs had made a good play to turn the puck over, but when they tried to get it back to Riley, it was just out of his reach. So here's Cowan trying to move through center ice and had it taken away. And Jake Evans will send it deeper into the Toronto end. Minute 33 in the power play, minute 19 left in the period. So the intermission will carve into it a little bit. Left wing side for Tavares. Back it goes to Riley. Left wing side kept alive on the far wing. Cowan trying to look in front of the net, dishes it off. Tavares with a shot, and that went wide, and the rebound off the glass has come all the way to center ice. Cowan turns with it again. Cowan trying to play it ahead. Off a stick. Canadians get to it first. Look to play it out, and they will send it out and down the ice. 45 seconds left in the period. OEL works in over the line. Got a shot away. A big rebound off of Dobish. Leafs get it back to the point. First time they've been able to set up. Here's Cowan getting it back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson to the far side. Leafs keep it alive with Domi working in with a shot, and that went off Dobish and went wide of the net. Cowan is able to keep the puck alive with just 17 seconds left to go in the period. Domi playing it back along the boards, has it knocked away and down the ice, and that'll do it. The Leafs won't get another rush in here before the siren ends the period as they get to the blue line. And that's it.
I'm going to play the what-if game again?
Okay.
What
if?
What if they scored in the power play? Be 4-3.
No, it'd be 4-2.
They had a power play in the first period as well. We already covered that.
Oh,
yeah.
both power plays.
I got a sharper eye. Yeah.
Yes, you do. Not a sharper mind, but you have a sharper eye.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go with that. All right. It is a 4-1 Montreal lead after 40 minutes of play. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Your home for the biggest stories in the league is Sirius XM NFL Radio.
This is Solomon Wilcox from the opening drive. As you get ready for Thanksgiving, we're helping you to set the table for a full course of great matchups in Week 12. Starting with the Colts at the Chiefs.
Sacked! Eaten alive! Chris Jones!
And the Buccaneers at the Rams on Sunday Night Football.
Touchdown, Puka
Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Connor McDavid, fourth fastest player to ever score 1,100 points. I want to say he's the third best offensive player of all time. That's Mario and him. Mind-blowing production of the highest order for Connor McDavid. It just made my head spin that he was able to be that consistent that long.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game, and when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken, don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, this show has never changed. We're just back home, and it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Just the nature of the NHL. As bad as things seem, as good as things seem, the NHL just has a way of leveling out. Everyone is doing okay, and it's just one real clump in the middle. No one's really separating. No one's really falling off completely.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's now a 4-1 lead for the Montreal Canadiens after 40 minutes. And I'm just
flattering, really.
Yeah, it actually is flattering. You're right. It could be worse. Just a pretty poor effort for the Maple Leafs on all ends tonight. We talked about it after the first period. Not a lot of fight in terms of physicality. They're getting pushed around. They look like they hadn't really shown up. And Second period was just another 20 minutes of the same thing for them. Defensively, not even close to being good enough, allowing the Montreal Canadiens to do whatever they wanted in terms of passing plays that were out of this world, just walking right down the middle of the ice. I felt bad for Joseph Woll for a bit. I thought he was doing his best, but the Leafs just hung him out to dry, and now Hildeby's in, and the Leafs got one goal back, but it's far from feeling like a 4-1 game.
Yeah. We don't do a post game, so I'm a little reticent to be like, you can't give your like overarching take of the game.
I think you should do it.
But here you kind of can. It feels like the Montreal Canadiens know now for the first time in many years that they are decidedly better, and they are enjoying demonstrating that for themselves and for the world. Looks like one team got lapped by the other. And again, some injuries for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but some injuries too for the Montreal Canadiens. But like having fun out there, I think would be how I would describe Montreal's effort through 40 minutes. They scored some sick goals so far in this game.
Oh, beautiful.
Doing
goals.
Things that the Maple Leafs used to do, maybe prior to Craig Berube's arrival. Ooh. Some offensive flair, some dramatic, some creativity. Very nice stuff. The Noah Dobson third goal from Ivan Demidov was a thing of beauty. But yeah, it just looks like a team that's enjoying suddenly being bigger brother.
I think that's a great way to put it. Like they're having the ole, ole, ole chants. The crowd's getting into it. They're finishing their checks. They're smirking at the Leafs. They're instigating in the corners in front of the net and standing tall while the Leafs kind of cower away and go to the bench. Like it's kind of an embarrassing look. Like if you're a Leafs fan or you're a Leaf, like you're just getting bodied everywhere.
And on the theme of puck don't lie, talked about that in the first period, that, you know, Montreal was running around a little bit, more engaged, but also a team that was looking to take a penalty and did. Puck didn't lie in the second period too, because the most physical, engaged, highest performing Maple Leaf, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, was the one who scored the goal.
That's our guy.
He's most involved in the game. And maybe that's partly because Montreal wants him to be involved physically. But it just feels like Oliver Ekman-Larsson is one of the few guys doing things that would be considered positive. And, of course, he's got the goal for Toronto.
Yeah, like I just want to give him credit again. I gave him credit after the first period because he was the only one really like ponying up and throwing some hits. And he got a cheap shot and he stood up for himself. And, you know, he looks like he cares. And then that period.
Leading the Leafs tonight in time on ice.
Wow, there you go.
At 5-on-5.
And in that period, once again, like willing this team to trying to be relatively alive. That's how I would feel.
Troy Stetcher, by the way, leads all Maple Leafs defensemen in total time on ice. So that says something too. 5-on-5 is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, supposed to be a third pair. And Troy Stetcher in total time on ice among defensemen, who was supposed to not be on this team.
You mentioned it, and I don't know if you have the exact stat in front of you, but before the Josh Anderson goal, which made it 4-0. Oh, by the way, Josh Anderson, player to watch. You're welcome. Plus 525 to score.
Set your watch to that goal.
Yes. Once again, that's his 14th or 15th against the Maple Leafs in his career. Way more than he has against any other team. Anyway, I knew that was coming. But before the 4-0 Josh Anderson goal, I think you had said that shots were 9-0 for the Habs, or scoring attempts were 9-0 for the Habs at that point. Like, that's like half a period where you weren't even creating a single offensive threat. Like, it's like empty calories out there. Like, we just had pizza during the break, and I could go walk around the office and burn calories that look like the Leafs out there.
No empty calorie per slice there, though.
No, there's some cows in those.
Yeah, it was 9-0 scoring chances. It finished the period 17-4. The scoring chances 22-8 in favor of Montreal on the game so far. That's in all situations. 8-0 high danger looks for Montreal in the second period. And shots were 17-6. So, yeah, pretty dominant. And expected goals, just total, 2.41 goals expected for Montreal in the period. They scored 2. Expected from the Leafs, 0.38. Again, that seems flattering.
It's not enough. Florian Jacki got his first point on a nice snipe by Josh Anderson. That's nice for him.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Josh Anderson's one of the best players in the NHL when he's playing the Maple Leafs. Just goes in for him. And I don't know, like Morgan Rielly late to rotate over, screens Joseph Woll at the perfect time, Joseph Woll gets lifted from the game to start a road trip that we assessed could be sort of his moment to.
I think it was the right move.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really blame Joseph Woll.
And get him rested for his next
trying
game.
to set the table, be like, okay, Joseph Woll, can you win 4 of these 6 of these games and Hildeby gets a point in one of the other 2? That's a successful road trip, but now you're already in a deficit.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the second worst record in the Eastern Conference, and a 4-point game here is about to be lost in all likelihood to a desperate and more talented team at current moment.
They don't play again till Wednesday night. I would hope that there is like a very intense practice and some skating and some hard words and something between Sunday morning and Wednesday, because that's a lot of time. Like, you don't have to save your legs. Like, something needs to change. And it looks like they're not even trying to play with like a pissed off attitude. It's just like, all right, well, let's go out there for the third.
Maybe Craig Berube will try on some of that old school Craig Berube tactics.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe we'll see the accountability piece finally.
Well, let's take a quick break. We'll get you set for the third period. We'll do the out-of-town scoreboard one more time and we'll get you ready for some good hockey here. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation, Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in, because it doesn't matter what it's in. It matters where it's from. Canadian, Export, Ultra, Excel, Molson. Everyone in.
Must be legal drinking age.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. Eyesight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall foliage, standard. Guy announcing the radio ad now wanting a Subaru? Yeah, standard. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. And get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Hey, seriously, can I get one?
Hockey. It's taken over our basements, our driveways, and our backyards. And at Rona, we wouldn't change a thing. That's why we make sure your home can take any hits hockey throws its way. So hockey can keep taking over your laundry rooms, your living rooms, your garages, your kitchens. Make sure your home is ready for hockey season with Rona. Build it right, build it Rona.
Betting partner of the NHL. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. T&Cs apply.
Welcome back to Put Down That Phone! Time for our speed round. Players, you scroll 4 hours per day. Is that enough? Maybe?
Wow, yes.
Jen's bored. With just 1 hour back, what could you gain?
A hobby, human connection, time to create.
What device checks those boxes?
A real camera, the Canon R50V.
Bonus round. The world's most complete creator camera is the R50V. The V stands for?
Video, vlogging, vision.
Canon makes cameras. The R50Vs for creators. Visit canon.ca/level up for Black Friday deals.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nice has tied the game, but a brilliant play by Max Domi.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs down 4-1 after 40 minutes. The out-of-town scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary. Bet365.
That was quick. Earlier today, the Red Wings got a 4-3 overtime victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Jordan Binnington, 30 saves as the St. Louis Blues beat the New York Islanders 2-1. Panthers crawling back. It's 4-3 Edmonton. About 15 minutes left in the game over the defending Stanley Cup champions. Flyers have a 5-2 lead over the New Jersey Devils. Penguins up 2-1 over the Seattle Kraken. Lightning still holding on to a 4-2 lead over the Washington Capitals. 2-2 Senators and Sharks just getting underway in the third. 1-0 the Avalanche have a lead over the Nashville Predators. Brent Burns with his second of the season and just getting started. Rangers and Mammoth from Utah still to come. 2 games tonight. Golden Knights and Ducks, Stars and Flames.
All right, Joe Bone and Jim Ralph with the call of the third period next. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leave the noise and the chaos of the holidays behind and escape to a channel filled with cozy piano, string and horn versions of your holiday favorites. Set the mood for a stress-free season with Sirius XM Holiday Instrumentals. Now through Christmas Day on the Sirius XM app, along with dozens of other holiday channels and specials.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Connor McDavid, 4th fastest player to ever score 1,100 points. I want to say he's the 3rd best offensive player of all time. That's Mario and him. Mind-blowing production of the highest order for Connor McDavid. It just made my head spin that he was able to be that consistent that long.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken, don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs trail 4-1 as we go to the third period. They trailed 4-0 until Oliver Ekman-Larsson scored at 17:20 from Cowan and Nylander. Nylander had a 14-game point streak snap the other day. So he has picked it up again, but there is a big hill to climb here in the third period.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of time left on the power play here to start the third, but I mean, that would have been so key, right? At least put a little bit of doubt into the Montreal Canadiens.
Third period, sorry, Jimmy, brought to you by Rona. Rona knows the game we love is hard on home, so make sure your home is ready to take on hockey season. Visit Rona.ca for more details. Build it right. Build it Rona.
I mentioned already, and I guess we're going to cling to this all season. The Leafs coming back from a 3-0 deficit against Pittsburgh to win 4-3, and it would be very similar to this game, where they were horrid in the first. I believe they were outshot 17-3 in the second period in the game against Pittsburgh, and were able to come back in the third period when it looked like they had absolutely nothing. So if they were ever to do it again tonight, it would be eerily similar in a game where they looked absolutely horrid through the first two periods.
Puck drop, play underway. Leafs with it in their own zone, moving left to right on your radio dial. Cleared to the line, but a pass there for Riley was broken up, and it is shot down into the Toronto zone. Oh, Hildeby thought about going out after that, but then thought better of it, and probably wise as it went around back of the net. Tavares got it to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, up on the wing and to the line, and not out. Kept alive and down into the corner, and Riley has to try again. He'll ring the boards with it, and this time it does come to center. Brought in over the line. The Leafs get it into the slot, and a shot by Tavares goes off a stick and goes up into the screen, out of play. Cowan getting that into the slot area, and the hottest stick that the Leafs own, and that is John Tavares, who comes into the game with 12 goals and 15 assists for 27 points. Tied with Nylander, although Willie now has 28 points after that assist on the Oliver Ekman-Larsson goal.
Ours was 7 goals in his last 8 coming as well. 7 goals, 11 points.
Domi wins the faceoff. Benoit couldn't shoot it at the net, and then it's stolen. And a breakaway opportunity here for Caulfield. He's in with a slap shot, and he set it well wide of the goal. The Leaf defense got tangled up at the point, and Caulfield pushed the puck right by them. Played along the boards in the Toronto zone. Caulfield again with a shot. That deflected off a skate and went wide. Played around the boards. It'll find the point. Hudson with a long shot wide of the Leaf goal. Chopped at there by Toronto on the near boards, but they can't get it out. Finally, when they do, it is Domi skating it to the red line, one-handing it, but not in deep enough. And Hudson plays it off the glass and gets it back to neutral ice. Stetcher with a regroup with his defense partner. Blade turns back in his own zone. He'll bring it to center. Nope, turns back to his own blue line. Heading to the bench, the Leafs are going to stretch things out. Through center and down into the Montreal zone. Back of the goal then for Arbor Jackeye. He lost it, and a quick shot was stopped. It comes back to the point. Wired over top of the net. It was a drive by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Back of the goal. Lawton trying to come out of the corner. Lorenz at the side of the net, wrapped at it, but it went back of the net. Now here's Lorenz with it again, trying to free it up. He's knocked down on the play. Did get it knocked into the corner. Leafs trying to work it along the boards. Morgan Riley is down into that corner rather deep. Lorenz has it back to the point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson shot went high and wide. Canadiens finally get to it, and they'll regroup it back in their own zone with Slavkovsky dropping it off and heading to the bench. Jackeye back of the goal. Played out at center ice. Canadiens to the line and in. Left wing side. Demidov with a shot taken by Gallagher that was fended off by the goaltender Hildeby. Canadiens get it back to the point. Just kept in there by Struble. Along the boards, back to the point it comes. Unable to get to it was Robertson, and a shot there from the point went off a body into the far corner. Canadiens still with it, but they turn the puck over. And then the Leafs give it right back. Right in on the left wing for Veleno. Left it, nope, hangs on to it, works back to the point. Weak shot off a body. Played off the boards by Toronto. Chipped to center ice and quickly brought to center by Robertson. Long wrist shot went well wide of the goal. And the Leafs in no position to keep the puck in as they were changing. Now Tavares able to one-hand it down in over the line. Nylander trying to dig it away from one of the Canadiens. Got a little bit deeper in the zone, but not much further. Back to the point, kept in. Nylander far corner. Trying to come out with it. Stops it up. Still with it in the corner. Back to the blue line it comes. Walking the line, Cowan. Cowan holding. Dishes back now. Nylander in front of the goal. Shot deflects off the goal post. Tavares. Stetcher. To the point again, and a pass goes off his skate and is going to come to center ice. And now offside at the Montreal blue line.
Well, Leafs have tweeted out Jake McCabe will not return tonight, taking a puck off the face late in the second period.
Boy, that infirmary is a mile long. Seems. I don't ever remember this many people being out for lengthy periods of time.
Coming into the season, that's now 3 of your top 4 defensemen. Right, with Tanev and Carlo already gone. You have 2/3 of your first line gone, and Matthews and Nyes.
Played into the Montreal zone. That shot ringing off the near post. Would have been nice if it had caromed into the net. Domi chasing after it. Michelli was able to get to it, but is double teamed on the boards, and the Canadiens just launch it into neutral ice. That'll force Mermis back to the puck. Dakota Mermis stops it up, played it up on the wing, and the Leafs turn back up ice with a pass. Brought to center by Morgan Rielly, jumping into the rush. His long shot is an easy save for Jacob Dobish. And now to the near corner. Up against the boards to the point. Benoit couldn't keep it in.
Boy, just simple plays like that. Pass back to the point, bobbled off the stick of Benoit, and out it goes.
Matheson with it in the Canadiens' end. Played out to the Toronto blue line where things bogged down, and Caulfield and company are offside. So it'll be brought back out into the center ice area with 14:45 to play in the third. 4-1 Montreal.
Jim Marty St. Louis would take a boring third period here. Snap their 5-game losing streak, get back into the win column.
Familiar face back of the Montreal bench, Stéphane Robida, who was the president of Robida Island for a couple of seasons.
Used to have the odd visitor.
Yes. Here's Benoit. Up on the left wing. Leafs get it in over the line. Bobby McMahon with a shot right off the chest, and then another save made by Dobish. Puck kept 10, and a whistle. Is the mask off? Oh.
Just the strap.
Just the strap. Oh, well, that's good. Meanwhile, Joseph Wall is fending for his life without the...
Hey, and I'm saying, you know what, you should blow it?
Yes.
But boy, you were about 4 steamboats late the last time it happened, and the mask was completely off. And you could see, we got a clip of Joseph Wall exchanging what looked like to be maybe not so pleasant words to the official. Shots on goal actually closer now at 26-21 Montreal.
Face off to the right of Dobish. 14:15 to play in the third period, and it's 4-1 Canadiens. And Tavares is waved out of the face-off circle, and Nylander will move in.
Montreal just 4-2-1 when leading after the second. So 3 of the 7 times they've done it.
They've given up at least a point, eh? Nylander off a loose puck to Cowan. It goes into the near corner. Cowan trying to get it back to the point. Does. Stetcher's shot was blocked, and it goes into the area back of the Canadiens' goal, and now is just airmailed out and down the ice. And the race will be won by the Leaf newcomer from Edmonton. And so face-off coming back in Montreal territory.
What we don't know is Jakob Dobish looks like he has fought off a lot of shots, that he doesn't look 100% comfortable.
2 posts.
But the Leafs haven't really been able to test him. And do you remember any save he's made sort of one-on-one that he stoned somebody?
13:55 to play in the third. Domi lost this face-off. Canadiens get it out at center ice and onto a stick and across the line as Anderson got it back into the slot area, and the Leafs turn it over and get it out, but not under any control. And so the Canadiens will play to center ice. Now on the wing it goes to Michelli, and the Leafs turn back up ice. Michelli on the right side for Domi. Sent down into the corner. Michelli got there first. Now trying to outfight his man, but loses the battle there to Lane Hudson, who gets it back out at center ice. Canadiens seem to be sitting back just a little bit, and the Leafs haven't been able to really take advantage of that. Oliver Ekman-Larsson in his own end. Bad pass has gone the length of the rink, but no icing as it slows up before it got to the goal line. Good forecheck by Tavares. Steals the puck. Cowan coming in, and a backhand went high over top of the net. Kept alive by Tavares at the blue line. On the wing for Stetcher. Sent into the corner now for Cowan coming out. His shot deflected wide. It comes out in front of the net again. And no one there to do any damage with it. Jackeye will play through center and down into the Leaf zone. Stetcher goes back after the puck to play it around the wall. And it's caromed all the way down to the Montreal blue line. Mike Matheson comes back. Got it in over the line and down back of the Toronto goal. Chipped into the near corner. Unable to handle it there was Stetcher. The Leafs are able to get it out at center. Upended was Joshua. He couldn't get it in over the line. And Stetcher, right-handed defenseman, sends it down into the Montreal zone. 12:05 to go. Third period, and the Leafs need 3. Canadiens stretching things out as they change. Matheson. An errant pass, but apparently went off a Leaf player, so there's no icing. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson starts back up ice. Played it ahead. That didn't connect. He'll try it again as he plays it up on the wing. This time it's intercepted by Montreal and shot back down into the Toronto zone. Along the boards and played out at center and down into the Montreal end. Lorenz chasing after it, but won't get there to get an offensive hit in. Canadiens get it back at center, and then a pass by McMahon was blocked. Here is a backhand try. No, centering pass by Lawton was knocked off the side of the goal. Back to the point. Stetcher from an angle, and Dobish is able to slide across and take that on the chest and hold for a face-off. 11:07 to play. Good opportunity from Easton Cowan, but he sent it a bit high and off the blocker. And the Leafs trail still 4-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You're in this to win a championship. Championships are won later in the season.
The push for the fantasy football playoffs is on.
But you can't win the league if you don't make the playoffs. You could sneak in and be the last seed and win the darn league. You just got to get hot at the right time.
The experts of Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio are here to lead you to fantasy football glory.
There are certain times in the season where you got to make a splash. You got to make a move.
Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87 in the car, and on the Sirius XM app, where fantasy football championships are won.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Kyle Davidson, Chicago Blackhawks GM, what would constitute a successful season in your mind?
We just want to see players continue to improve. We've got a new coaching staff in here that the players are really responding to. We just want to keep taking steps, individually and collectively, and eventually those results will take care of themselves. And, hopefully we can keep getting points on the board, and we'll see where that puts us towards the end of the year.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Canadiens 4, the Maple Leafs 1. Third period is almost halfway through. 11:07 to play. Draw to the left in the Canadian zone is won by Montreal and launched out at center ice. Big hit there sends Caulfield to the ice, and the Leafs have the puck back in their own zone. Cowan getting it off to Nylander in the near corner. He works back of the net. Willie shielding it nicely as he skates to center. Backhand pass, though, is knocked out of the air. Brought back in by Slavkovsky. Taken away there by Riley and forced into the corner. Back of the net goes Caulfield. Nylander shadowing him as the puck goes free. The Canadiens around back of the net. Stood up there nicely, and Riley finds Tavares with room and space and brings it out now with a pass, but it went off a Canadian stick, and the Leafs have to go back and regroup it again. Morgan Riley back of the goal. Patiently waiting for teammates to change. Now brings it out. Got it up on the right side for Domi. Tied to the line. That's a delayed offside, I would think. Oh, maybe not.
I'm with you. I think
I thought that was
over
offside,
early.
didn't you? Blay in the corner coming out with a shot. That was blocked. Canadians are going to get it out. So we can disregard that as Montreal tried to work down in over the line, but Evans ran out of real estate and goes around back of the net. Evans trying to center again, looking for Anderson in front of the net. It comes around the boards and will come to the near point. Trapped there by Jackeye and sent right back into the corner. Evans and Anderson working it back of the goal. Evans trying to play it back to the point. Now it is Anderson into the near corner. Had it stripped away by Stetcher, and the Maple Leafs are able to get it up on the wing. And Max Domi has some time, but it's been a long stretch down in the Toronto end. And now he'll head to the bench, and Troy Stetcher has the puck in his own zone. Played up on the right wing side. Lorenz got it into the zone, but it was played away from the forecheck by the goaltender. And the Canadians get it back at center, and Veleno will send it down into the Toronto end. Canadians after it as they get it back to the point. D to D and a one-timer coming, fought off there by Hildeby. Puck still in the Toronto zone, though. Played to an empty corner, and Gallagher is first to it. He leaves it there for the Canadians, a centering pass, and it went right through the blue paint. Good battle going on in front of the net. And now we've got Dakota Mermis tangled up with Gallagher, and that's drawn a crowd in back of the goal that is dislodged.
Boy, Scott Lawton just got her right in there.
And now Struble is trying to get in, and Lawton has got his man down on the ice and being lectured by one of the linesmen.
And the official was saying, I think it's Dakota Mermis is the original penalty on this. That was knocked off in the skirmish between Mermis and Gallagher.
Well, we'll wait and see how this is adjudicated.
Everybody else comes in.
Garrett Davidson seems to be the more irate of anybody on the ice, and he was the one that was tackled and taken down by Scotty Lawton. Yeah, well, that was a pretty good battle between Gallagher and Mermis.
Yeah, is this going to be an interference call?
I don't know.
Gallagher,
I guess we're going to commercial break, though. It is 4-1 Montreal. We'll sort it out when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around in the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation. Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in, because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Canadian, export, ultra, excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Okay, category is ways Desjardins Insurance goes the extra mile to make insurance easy. First question, what are some of the things you can easily do online or in the app?
Oh, view your policy.
Add a new driver.
Oh, update your address when you move.
Easy. You guys are good.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Domi in front for Tavares. He scores!
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Canadians 4, the Maple Leafs 1. And have they sorted the penalties out? We're getting a replay on the screen here of all of the shenanigans that went on.
And it looks like Gallagher and Mermis both coincidental minors here.
All right.
Canadians have out-hit the Leafs 29-19, and yeah, that's sort of an odd stat because it feels like the Leafs haven't had the puck most of the night. A little more ice.
Get any more isolated shots of the Jackeye twins? hoping for some kind of a brawl. It is rather interesting. The Leafs really don't have a dance partner if you want to get after it. Leafs break it through center. In on the left wing, drop back to the blue line. And 4-on-4, and losing the puck was Tavares. Canadians back in. Tavares is back checking, though, took it away from Suzuki. And he has it back of the net to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Larsson having difficulties, but able to get it back of the net. And OEL will dish it back, and Tavares circles the goal and starts out with it. John Tavares through center. Hits the red line. In on the left wing for Nylander. Now to Cowan. Cowan holding it off. Drops it off on the left wing, driving the net lot and trying to go right to the net. And he had it go right through the blue paint, but couldn't get it on the backhand. Kept in at the blue line by Stetcher, but the Canadians get it out. Lawton chasing after Mike Matheson. Matheson back to the point. Caulfield closes. Little toe drag move. Tried to put it between his legs. Didn't work. Canadians back at the point, though, keeping it in. He'll try again. Here's Caulfield with a shot, and that was deflected off the blocker of Dennis Hildeby.
Boy, Stetcher, his first couple of games, Joe, I really liked, but he has really struggled handling the puck here tonight.
Played out at center ice by Toronto.
And that last giveaway in the Montreal zone that led to a rush by the Canadians.
Canadians regrouping in their own end. Hudson gets it up on the right side. Canadians in, trying to toe drag move. It rolls off a stick, and Hildeby is there to cover up on it. And now we get Oliver Kapanen getting shoved aside from the side of the Toronto goal. And a face-off coming in the Leaf end. 6:57, and time is a major factor now as the Leafs trail by 3.
Might be the fourth major factor now.
Yes.
The other three have the Leafs down by 3.
Draw to the left of Hildeby, who came on for Joseph Wall. And a shot kicked away by Hildeby around back of the net. It'll be pushed up on the wing, and the Leafs are one-handing it out to Domi. Domi, a left wing feed. Driving the net, Robertson got or at least Michelli got a shot away, but it was blocked. And now the Canadians are able to break it back the other way with Lane Hudson getting it down into the Toronto zone. Oliver Ekman-Larsson takes his man heavily into the end boards. Both players down as the puck comes out at center ice. Shot into the Canadian zone with 6:24 left to play in the third period. Slavkovsky over on the right wing side. Hudson got to the line and in. Plays it down into the corner. Stetcher got it around the boards for Tavares. Long left wing feed. Robertson in on the wing with a shot. That extended the pad of Dobish to make the save. Pretty good shot by Nicky Robertson. And the puck is back out at center ice, and now the Leafs have to go back into their own end. Benoit got it ahead. Tavares across the line. Shot was deflected into the corner. Played up the boards by Noah Dobson. Canadians just lifting it to center, and Slavkovsky will get it to the Leaf blue line and then feed it off on the left wing for Mike Matheson. Matheson for Anderson. Steps in. Puck rolls in on goal. Smothered underneath Hildeby. And then getting in on it was Florian Jackeye. And I guess we're going to have a tussle here, as it is Jackeye throwing punches with the Maple Leafs in front of the net. Mermis. So the Jackeye boys finally found someone that was willing. And now Mermis has got Jackeye kind of at an arm's length, throwing over the top of everybody, and it is covered up.
Boy, and he is very excited.
Yes, he is. He's giving it to everybody. Of course.
You know what? I give credit to Dakota Mermis on this. Now, he also puts the Leafs at a disadvantage. 4 defensemen left for the final 5:34. But there is definitely a size difference in this. But let him have his moment.
Tell you what, Mermis won the fight if you count number of punches landed, I think. The Jackeye family is in attendance, an older brother enjoying the go-around. And in your first NHL game, you might as well get an assist and a fight and then excite the crowd as he heads to the penalty box. It is a 4-1 Toronto deficit to the Montreal Canadiens. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Turn up the twinkle. The holiday season is here, and so is Holly, the channel that lights up your holidays with Mariah, Kelly, Michael,
have a holly jolly Christmas,
and more. Unwrap the merry and bright holiday hits now on Holly, Channel 4, and at home with the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Just the nature of the NHL. As bad as things seem, as good as things seem, the NHL just has a way of leveling out. Everyone is doing okay. And it's just one real clump in the middle. No one's really separating. No one's really falling off completely.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs are going to get a power play here in exchange for all of the shenanigans that happened in front.
Now the difference is about the same weight. Florian Jackeye and Dakota Mermis, but Jackeye's got a couple of inches on the Leaf defenseman. Marty St. Louis is rather upset.
I think I read lips there, and that wasn't a very nice final exchange with the official.
Florian's not a... You're saying, come on, Marty. You got in a fight.
Yeah.
Celebrated with the crowd.
Maybe it's unsportsmanlike conduct. At any rate, Jackeye in the penalty box, and it looks like goaltender Dennis Hildeby is going to head to the bench for a sixth attacker. In need of 3 tallies here. And you got to get the second before you can get the third and fourth, so they're going to go for it here late in the game with 5:34 to play in the third period.
As flashing as the extra call on Jackeye.
Must have precipitated the fight, I guess, that we didn't see. Canadians win the draw and are going to play it down the ice. And Hildeby is still in the goal, although he's signaling the bench to see if they want him to start out. And I think they'll wait until they get in the offensive zone with some control. Here's a pass back to the point to Nylander. They get it in on the left wing. Still no word. No, it looks like they've got the extra attacker on now as the shot scores. From the right side, Willie Nylander with the wrist shot. And that makes it 4-2 with a power play goal and 6 attackers on the ice.
Well, Willie Nylander, top of the right wing circle. You had Cowan and Domi go to the front of the net. But Dobas really got pulled to the near post. And that puck hits about a foot inside the far post. So Jackeye overplays it. And Nylander, give him credit. He put it through. There was a charging Canadian coming out to the point. He put it through his legs. and far side. So, you look at the score is 4-2 Montreal. The shots are just 28-25 Canadiens. It doesn't feel that close.
No, it doesn't.
Does it?
No, it really doesn't. But you never know. You have to play 60 minutes of this to figure it out. Put the final stamp of approval on it.
That's the old Jerry Cheevers quote, scoreboard doesn't lie, but it can stretch the truth.
Yes, it can. And a scrum at center ice as the Canadiens get up and send it down into the Toronto zone. Hildeby out of the cage. Gives it to Stetcher, who got it up on the wing, but it was cut off by the Canadiens. Now Riley trying to force it along the boards. It goes back into the corner and back of the net. Stetcher reverses his field, but is running out of real estate, but finds Lorenz, who backhands to center. Pretty good elbow by Jackeye to straighten up Joshua there. No call, and the puck is shot into the Montreal zone. Down the boards, Canadiens getting it back in the net. We do not believe Hildeby has been pulled for an extra attacker at this point. As it down into the corner, Gallagher sends it out and down the ice, and this should be an icing. And now will Hildeby be out of the goal with 4:15 to play? So on the third power play opportunity of the game, the Leafs get on the board to make it 4-2. And now, indeed, Hildeby apparently has gone to the bench.
Shelley has come on to replace him with Domi, McCowan, Nylander, and Tavares, Riley, and Ekman Larson.
Face off in the Montreal zone. It'll be Evans taking the draw against Tavares. And the Leafs win it cleanly. Riley tries to stretch it out by going to Michelli at the near point. Down into the corner, return to Michelli. He walks into the slot area. Wrist shot coming. That deflected wide of the goal. Kept alive and Cowan back to the point. Riley walks into the slot now. His shot is deflected just wide of the goal. Canadiens trying to backhand it out at center, and they do. But Morgan Riley will get back there for Toronto. Played it back in over the line, but the Canadiens have it, and the Leafs net is empty, and they're under control. Long lead pass. Stopped there by Michelli. It was an attempted goal, wasn't it? Yeah, it looked like it was. Michelli dropping it back. Leafs have Nylander coming through neutral ice. Cross the line. Michelli has to go off a stick. And to center ice, cleared down into the Toronto end. Michelli gets back. Michelli on the left wing side this time. Broken up by Kapanen. Nylander breaks it in over the line, though. Willie works down around back of the net to find Cowan. Cowan in the near corner. Back behind the goal line to Riley. Back to the point. Michelli on the far side. Nylander trying to find a man in front. Bouncing puck goes back into the corner. Nylander outfought for the puck. Canadiens poke it out at center with 2:52 to go. 6 attackers still for the Leafs. Can't get into the zone. Leafs are getting a partial change of personnel. Lawton turns back up ice on the near wing, shoots it down into the Montreal zone this time. Canadiens run out of real estate as it goes back of the net. Corralled and sent high to the empty net. Wide. Is that not icing?
That's went off his stick, maybe.
I guess. No icing called. 2:20 to go. Played out at center and to the Montreal zone. Played back out at center. Canadiens get it again. And this time they do find the empty net to put this one away.
And that's Josh Anderson again. So his second of the night, as the Leaf killer will put this one away. You know, after that group that the Leafs had on the ice where the goalie pulled Joe, you're really searching for some kind of guys that have some offensive flair to get them back into it. Yeah. And I don't think I've seen Nick Robertson on for a while. He might have been on there that last shift for about 39 seconds, but his ice time, when you look at the guys out of the lineup, Nick Robertson's ice time is 10:36. So there is something that Craig Berube obviously...
Almost 10 minutes less than Willie Nylander, right?
You would think in a game that you would need some offense, right? Even Bobby McMahon, only 12-22 in ice time.
So with 2:10 to go, this one is going to be salted away by the Canadiens, who are going to pick up their 25th point. The Leafs came into the game trailing a playoff spot by 3 points.
Well, they're only 2 back of Montreal, and that's why this was such a huge game. Mentioned the Leafs were swept in 2 games by the Red Wings, swept by the Boston Bruins. Buffalo took 3 of 4, and they're back-to-backs for the Leafs.
Puck is scrummed and underneath a player down on the Montreal end. And the officials are just letting this mess carry on. And now another player down on the ice. Blais is knocked down. The puck is scrummed up against the wall. This is pretty exciting stuff. Remember in the old days in the 60s, the puck got here, quickly blown, right? Face off. Canadians get it out and get it down into the Toronto zone. Stetcher going back to the puck.
3.5-hour games.
Yes. Stetcher starts out. Played it out at center. It'll be shot into the Montreal end with less than a minute to go in the game. Dobish plays it around the boards. The Leafs will get it back at center. And shot back into Montreal territory. Couple of days to regroup. The Leafs will be in Columbus on Wednesday night. 7 o'clock start. We hope that you will join us then. But things, a second period especially, but a 2-0 deficit in the first period pretty much spelled disaster for the Maple Leafs, who are not able to generate the offense to get back into this game. And they got badly outshot in the second period as the lead was built to 4-0. And the final 10 seconds being saluted by the faithful at the Bell Center.
Somebody run Jack Eye here.
Just to see if anything will start. There we go. Joshua, and then Jack Eye starts throwing punches and gets wrestled to the ice by Dakota Joshua.
Yeah. What did you say about my brother?
Yeah.
Jack Eye has no trouble getting on with that. I mean, this is a late hit. Game's over. And when I said somebody run at him, I didn't think anybody
was going to do it. There you go. Now we got some more.
Well, if you want a shot at Brendan Gallagher, you got a great opportunity here.
Yes. Yep. And the officials trying to separate the rest of the team. A shot thrown there by Troy Stetcher. Pretty good right jab. And the officials are just trying to get everybody to head to their dressing rooms. And it looks like things have broken up now. And they will send it off. So a big win for the Montreal Canadiens. They even their series with the Maple Leafs at 1 apiece, and the 3 stars brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care.
Well, you always try to get a little bit of a Leaf player in there, but can't do it tonight.
No, I don't think so.
Mike Matheson, 2 points on the night for the Montreal Canadiens. Couple of assists, was +3. Josh Anderson is star number 2, does have the empty netter, and Noah Dobson scored the 2 big goals for Montreal. The 2 3-0 goals in this game really put it away. Former New York Islanders, star number 1 for Montreal.
So there you have it. The Maple Leafs will come home for a couple of days before going to Columbus, and that is Wednesday night, our next action, and we will be with you beginning at 7 o'clock. The Leafs lose this one by a score of 4-2. We'll ship it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. Post-game show coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
The MLS Cup Playoffs Eastern Conference Semifinals are on Sirius XM SC. Doubleheader coverage kicks off with FC Cincinnati versus Inter Miami.
Here it comes, Messi!
Then top-seeded Philadelphia Union battle NYCFC.
DeMarino scores!
It's an MLS playoff doubleheader Sunday afternoon at 5 Eastern in English on Sirius XM FC 157 and in Espanol on App Channel 1999.
We deliver the NHL.
Jeff Gorton, the president of hockey operations for the Montreal Canadiens.
Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. How much do their games complement each other?
They're sort of reading each other's minds of where to be. And Nick is so bright. His hockey sense is so good. I think that Cole is feeding off it. It's been fun to watch him.